on that exactly. We do have rain on the way, so thunderstorms possible up until after 8 p.m. There's a risk of severe weather today, and we are under a tornado watch now. Also, that high wind advisory and a flood watch are also in effect for us locally here in Jackson. All right, it was just issued by the National Weather Service in Memphis. They have issued a tornado watch in effect until 1 o'clock for counties in North Mississippi and in West Tennessee, including Madison County, Gibson County, Carroll County, Hardeman, Hardin, McNairy, Chester, Haywood, Weakley County, Henderson County, Dyer County, Decatur, Benton, and that's it. So that's all of us.
Yeah.
That's all of us. That tornado watch in effect until 1 p.m. today.
It's a big area. And all of North Mississippi and all of West Tennessee be on high alert today.
We're also under that high wind warning. And that's until 6 o'clock tonight. I mean, with gusts possible as high as 60 miles an hour, of course, we're under a high wind advisory. That lasts until 6 p.m. And then we're under a flood watch until noon today. So a tornado watch until 1, a flood watch until noon, and a high wind warning until 6 p.m. tonight. That's a lot going on.
And that wind warning said that southwest winds 25 to 35 mile per hour. So that would be on a somewhat consistent basis with gusts up to 60 miles per hour.
The Delta Color Weather Radar 144-mile range shows that this line has really solidified since in the last 30 minutes. And it's gotten more organized and more solid and more confined. And that is going to be blowing through here in about, 20 minutes?
Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know how fast I don't know how fast that's traveling, but I mean, it's actually about right here.
Yep.
It's actually about right here. And then it's going to blow through here. I would say within the next 20 to 30 minutes, it's going to start raining. And it's going to be heavy, apparently. So that's where we start things off. 6:30 the time. So back to the Murdaugh trial. He has been found guilty, accused of murdering his wife and son to gain pity and distract from financial crimes, threatening to topple his reputation. And he was found guilty yesterday in those slayings. Jury deliberated for about 3 hours. Jury was 7 men, 5 women, and they convicted Murdaugh of 2 counts of murder in the fatal shootings of his wife, Margaret, and their youngest son, Paul, back in June of 2021. He faces 30 years to life in prison without parole. But they've got him on like 100 other counts of other stuff.
A lot of
besides murder.
Alleged financial crimes.
He was going to go to jail regardless. If he walked from this murder trial, he's still going to go to jail eventually for all the other shenanigans he's been up to.
Not good.
So that was the big news yesterday. He is 54 years old.
And probably going to spend the rest of his life in jail for this.
More than likely. We had some action in Tennessee on Capitol Hill yesterday. We've talked about this before. I can't get it to do anything.
Our friend from the Tennessee Firearms Association discussed some of the bills.
Not this one. Boy, if hindsight's 20/20, but if I'd have thought, I'd ask him his comments on this. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee signs the law banning all transgender treatment for children in public drag shows.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
Signed that. The new legislation, which was fast-tracked by the Republican majority in the state, will take effect this summer. Now, that bill went through the Senate like wildfire.
Like a chainsaw through whipped cream.
And they taught it was fast-tracked because the next week it was in the House. They held on to it for a little while longer than the Senate, but it eventually blazed through there like a wildfire. Mm-hmm. And as soon as the ink was dry on it, the governor signed it. So the move means there's a total ban on all gender-affirming health care for kids in Tennessee. A ban on all gender-affirming health care for kids in Tennessee. That includes puberty blockers and hormone treatments. Won't be able to get that here. But Governor Lee signed that banning of transgender treatment for children into law. Alongside the ban on treatment, Lee also signed off on a new law barring Ha! Pardon the pun there. Wow. That was clever, and I didn't even mean to be.
That was almost a slip-up right there.
That was too clever. Barring adult-oriented entertainment like drag shows from public property.
Wait a minute. They're not closing the strip clubs, are they?
Well,
oh, no.
It's adult-oriented entertainment like drag shows from public property.
Oh, thank goodness.
Public property. The events can only take place in age-restricted venues from April 1st.
That was close.
New medical legislation, which was fast-tracked, will take effect this summer. This means that any children in Tennessee who are currently on gender-affirming medication will have until March 31st to come off them. Now, that sounds dangerous to me. I mean, if you've already started the process as a young person, a very young person, wouldn't that be dangerous to stop that?
I don't know anything about any of that.
It sounds dangerous. Like if you're on blood pressure medicine or insulin, and you got to have insulin, and they say, well, you've got until March 31st to either find somewhere to get it or get off of it because you can't do it in Tennessee anymore. That would be dangerous. Now, I don't know what these drugs actually do. I know what the end goal is supposed to do. But in the meantime, I don't think you need to get hung out in limbo if you're on these meds trying to transition. Because once you start taking them, things start happening. And you're trying to get to that finish line. And if you get stuck in the middle, what happens?
Well, you didn't make it to the finish line.
I'm telling you, that sounds dangerous to me. The law was signed yesterday. It was written to ban medical treatment for the diagnosis of gender dysphoria rather than prohibiting a particular drug or medication itself. Okay, so that explains a little, not much. But trans care for teens is banned in several states. Tennessee is the latest, but also Florida, Texas, Utah, and South Dakota. The ban has been suspended in Alabama and Arkansas. And there's a ban on surgery only in Arizona. The rest of the country, no ban at all on anything. Go for it. He did not issue a statement or have a public ceremony. He just signed it and moved on. That happened yesterday in Nashville. 6:35 is the time. We are 25 away from the top of the hour. Sports is on the way. We'll find out if we had any more venue changes last night or any coming up that you might suspect.
We will have that coming up in sports.
All right, that's coming up next. Right here at Daybreak 96.5 News Talk, WTN.com.
If you're in business, you know just how important each call is. You don't have time for phone or internet downtime. Your business needs a reliable communications partner 24/7. You need Lifeline Voice and Data. Lifeline Voice and Data provides telephone service to emergency service facilities all over West Tennessee and beyond. For your business, we don't just provide a phone line. We provide a lifeline. Lifeline Voice and Data.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson.
What do you think he'll get you this year? Candy? Flowers?
No, I was thinking something more sparkly.
Wow, congratulations. How many carats do you think he'll spring for?
Girl, forget the ring. I want some of that shiny 45 Automark bling.
At 45 Automark, get a jewelry box full of $1,000 savings just by walking in and saying,
"Show me the bling."
We've had an 18-year clean Carfax successful marriage to our customers, and to keep the romance alive, we're taking $1,000 off so our relationship thrives. Say,
"Show me the bling,"
and carry this loaded leather sunroof Honda CRV over the threshold for $11,900, or pick up this 60,000-mile 2020 Chevy Colorado for just $21,900. Don't fall for Mr. Megadigger with a sappy sales spiel and false love sting when every drive-in your Forever 45 ride will give you the feels like a sweet romance with $1,000 off because you said,
"Show me the bling."
So call 989-8059 or come to 45 Automark today. Wear your $1,000 off the perfect for you ride with that love's in bloom at first sight feeling feeling that'll make you swoon and leave you reeling. Dealer!
Hi, my name's Dawn. I have been taking BioT at Advanced Medical. My moods are better. I sleep well. My husband has complimented me on the mood swings that are no longer affecting our marriage.
Are these problems affecting your work, your relationships, and your quality of life? You'll be happy to know there's an exciting, natural solution available called BioT. BioT uses a natural way for men and women to correct these problems by safely and accurately balancing hormone levels without the use of synthetic injections or cream.
I got blood work done, and they identified what hormones were out of balance. They gave me the bioidentical hormone pellets through BioT, and now I have more energy, no more brain fog, I'm sleeping better, and I feel like my old self again. I would recommend Advanced Rehab and Medical and their BioT program to anyone suffering with symptoms like mine. It's been life-changing.
To book your appointment, call 731-462-8580. That's 731-462-8580.
Looking to add a little spice to your love life?
Nothing adds spice like gunpowder.
Jackson's only indoor shooting range. Date night at the range. Here's what you lovebirds get. A shooting lane for two targets, 100 rounds of ammo, eye and ear protection, and a $30 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse. All for just $99.99.
Now that's firepower.
Perfect for a gift card from the range. The Range, 2310 North Highland Avenue in Jackson.
Go to therange.com.
News Talk West Tennessee includes newstalk965.com and Newstalk 96.5 FM, covering local news, sports, and weather on an extensive network of platforms, including radio, social media streaming, digital TV, live stream, podcasts, all on your devices. Our local and live weekday lineup includes Daybreak with Greg Wood and G-Unit, Walker Talks with Chuck Walker and Julie Holt, The Dan Reeves Show with Gina Langley and Larry Newman, Dave Ramsey, Jackson-Madison County Schools Game of the Week, UT Vols Sports, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Local, live, News Talk West Tennessee and newstalk965.com. Hear it first on News Talk 96.5 FM. We might be talking about you.
It's 6:40. It's 20 away from the top of the hour. Multiple weather warnings in effect right now. We're currently under a tornado watch until 1 o'clock this afternoon. We're under a flood watch until noon and a high wind advisory until 6 o'clock tonight. Rain is on the way. Right now, G-Unit standing by with sports. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Greg. This morning's sports brought to you by Jackson IV and Wellness, Jackson-Madison County School System, Mulligans. Log on to mulligans.com. Family Medical, King Jewelers. Go by and see Grover for all your jewelry needs. And Corbin Cardiology. It is high school basketball tournament time. Can we get an amen in this house of Jesus?
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Some scores throughout the area last night. McKenzie punched their ticket to a home sub-state game. They beat Frank Hughes High School 56-46 last night. They will host Moore County this coming Monday night. In Region 7 3A, Haywood County beat Ripley 46-32. They will host Fayette this coming Monday night. And in Region 6 3A, this was the tournament that Dan and I were at. Chester County punched their ticket to a home sub-state game. They defeated South Gibson 52-49. Chester County will host Murfreesboro Central. South Gibson will travel to Martin Luther King in Nashville. This was a fantastic tournament that they held. We had no venue changes last night. I think
good.
I think they did. They took our advice. They got up on the roof of the gym and put some Flex Seal on it.
Oh, so y'all were back at Chester County.
We were back at Chester County.
I wondered that if they would just move the rest of it to Freed-Hardeman.
I was wondering that too.
Yeah.
And so when I got there, I talked to the athletic director there, Brandon Pipkin. He did a great job through the tournament. And I complimented him, shook his hand, and said, "Hey, listen, you guys did really good to be able to move that game that quickly. That tells us you got
That's
really
true.
good relationships in the community." So hats off to Brandon Pipkin, the sports director there at Chester County High School. They ran a fantastic show down there. So, and the home team took a victory over South Gibson last night, and they will host a sub-state game coming up next Monday night against Murfreesboro Central. So home games coming up. What that means is you win the next game and you're headed to the dance.
So that tournament starts Next week?
The women's tournament starts next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
At the Glass House at our alma mater.
That's right.
This morning sports brought to you by Lifeline Voice and Data, Cambridge Men's Clothier, Precision Auto Body in Milan, Southeastern Termite and Pest Control, Jackson State Community College. Plan your future at jscc.edu, Advanced Rehab and Medical, The Range Indoor Shooting Range, and Dapper Dan's favorite, Carico's Pizza.
You know, when I was at MTSU, I never got a spring break. You know, the tournaments always coincide with spring break, so the campus will be empty.
Yep.
You know, and I never got to leave because I was on scholarship and worked at the radio station. So I had to stay on campus during the tournament. And all of these people would be on campus. It was supposed to be empty, you know, because spring break, everybody leaves. There's no classes. Everybody's going to Panama City Beach and whatnot. And there's me that has to work every day, and all of these thousands of people that come in for the tournament every year. And it was wild. It was more people there for the tournament than is there during a normal weekday.
Right.
During classes.
Yep.
It's crazy. And they'd have the women's tournament. The next week, they'd have the boys tournament. I think the boys tournament is the one that they always coincide with spring break. Because I remember having classes when the girls were having their tournament. Because I had classes in the Murphy Center. You know, underneath there's classrooms and the racquetball and all of that stuff is underneath. So you'd have to go to the Murphy Center, but they'd have it closed that week because the girls were having their tournament upstairs, and they didn't want you over there, I guess. I don't know, but whatever. I didn't have classes in the Murphy Center that week. And then the next week, everything's shut down, and here comes the whole state of Tennessee. And they're everywhere.
Oh, yeah. For the women's tournament, there will probably be about 5,000 or 6,000 people coming to town. For the men's tournament, probably 7,000 or 8,000 people come into town.
And they don't know where to park.
No, they don't.
And they don't know how to drive on campus.
No, we don't.
It was a hot mess. You know, this is a one-way street, and that's not the way. Oh, my word.
So, yes, they did a great job down at Chester County for hosting that event, and hats off to them. And to all the winners, you get to host a sub-state game, win, and you're headed to the dance.
All right. Speaking of sports, Herschel Walker turned 61 today. Coincidentally, 61 is also the total number of kids who claim that Herschel's their dad.
Stop it.
Wildlife officials in Utah are encouraging residents there to catch and eat as many bullfrogs as they can.
Ew.
McDonald's needs to get in on this.
Do you eat frog legs with your chicken livers?
I do eat frog legs. I like frog legs, and I like chicken livers, and I had a whole plate full yesterday. I missed you, man. I thought about you.
Okay.
I eat frog legs. Do you?
I'll eat some frog legs.
Well, apparently they've got a problem with them in Utah because now the wildlife officials there are encouraging people to eat as many as they can. What if McDonald's jumped in on that? We could have a McRibbit.
That's disgusting.
McRibbit. The only thing about eating that many bullfrogs is if you overdo it, you might croak.
Oh, please. That sounds like a dad joke.
It was. I've been working on that. In unrelated news, but something you need to know before we get to this next break, Tooth Fairy payouts, and we'll talk about this. Tooth Fairy payouts have hit an all-time high right now.
Really?
You know, you pull a tooth, a little kid pulls their tooth, and you put money under their pillow for the next morning, Tooth Fairy.
Yep.
Well, it's been the price of a pulled tooth, a baby tooth, has gone up over the year. It's inflation. Everything's going up. And now if you pull a tooth, it's more than it has ever been.
Oh, Lord.
And we'll tell you how much that is when we come back. We got that to do and a whole lot more. 647, multiple weather watches and warnings in effect right now. We're under a tornado watch until 1 p.m. this afternoon here in West Tennessee. We're also under a flood watch here in West Tennessee until noon. And here in West Tennessee as well, a high wind advisory until 6 o'clock tonight. We've got rain on the way, and I can see due west out of these front windows. That faces due west.
No.
And it is clouding up and looking ugly back there.
That does not look, yeah.
So I'll give us till the top of the hour, and I think it's going to hit because it's not doing much of anything out there now. It's just cloudy and wet from where it has rained the last day and a half.
So if all of a sudden you don't hear us, it's because we're in here with about, I don't know, a whole bunch of electronic equipment.
Do we have a basement or something?
I don't know.
Where are we supposed to go?
That bathroom's too small for me to be hanging out in there with you.
I'm running over to Krasner's so they can close those windows with those big metal doors.
That would work, yeah.
We could go over there.
You couldn't
Todd wouldn't mind as long as we buy something. We got to buy something.
I wonder what
he won't let us in if we don't buy something.
I wonder what the cheapest thing is he's got over there.
He won't let us
You guys work at the radio station? Nope, you can't come in.
You got to buy something first. Here, what about this guitar? All right, 6:48, 12 away from the top of the hour. We're back after this.
Welcome to Hampton Inn and Suites of Jackson. Make yourself at home in any of the 83 rooms or suites. Hampton Inn and Suites exit 83 at I-40 is minutes away from all Jackson destinations like the West Tennessee Healthcare Sportsplex, Casey Jones Village, Jackson Madison County General Hospital, and many industrial complexes. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, free parking, and free hot breakfast. Also a 24-hour fitness and business center. Welcome to West Tennessee. Make your reservations now by calling direct at 731-427-6100 or visit hampton.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently refreshing and light? Michelob Ultra, only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson. Not too expensive, nothing too fancy, just an authentic Italian family recipe served up piping hot, just like a pizza pie should be. Locally owned and operated Carico's Pizza, home of the $8 lunch special. 2 slices and a drink for just $8. Buy the slice or the 28-inch monster, perfect for the bowl game. Carico's Pizza, 1370 Union University Drive. For catering, call 731-240-1033. For the full menu, visit caricospizza.com.
My name is Steven and I'm 41 years old. I started having problems with my weight, my focus, my energy all around. I spent thousands of dollars a year on supplements trying to get my weight down, and it never worked.
Are these problems affecting your work, your relationships, and your quality of life? You'll be happy to know there is an exciting natural solution available called BioT. BioT uses a natural way for men and women to correct these problems by safely and accurately balancing hormone levels without the use of synthetic injections or creams.
I got the treatment and it has been the best decision of my life. I feel great. I'm losing weight. I have more energy. I'm getting stronger in the gym and I can focus so much better. And I notice that I also sleep better and I'm always in a good mood. And I believe it's all because of the BioT treatment.
To schedule an appointment to find out if BioTE is right for you, call 731-462-3596. That's 731-462-3596.
We're all busy this time of year. There's back to school, football season, and this little thing around here called harvest. You don't have time to be sick or in the hospital. Did you know that the COVID Delta variant is more contagious than the common cold? And that doctors are seeing more young and healthy unvaccinated people in the hospital? Get informed about vaccines and make the decision that's right for you and the ones you love. Find out more at getvaccineanswers.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Walker Talks with Chuck Walker. Weekdays 10 to 1. Only on 96.5 FM. News Talk West Tennessee and NewsTalkWTN.com.
Today is Irish Whiskey Day.
And we're going to need it with this weather.
You like Irish whiskey?
Listen, man.
Jameson, Bushmills, Tullamore Dew.
By the dump truck full. Pour some sugar on me.
How do you enjoy your Irish whiskey?
Two-fisted.
Oh, for real? Do you have a special way of taking it back an Irish whiskey?
Not any certain special way.
Ah, you greasy grumpspringer. I'll turn you grind to pudding.
You've practiced that voice before. I can tell. You do really good impressions, but I can tell you've practiced your Irish voice before.
Man, for those little empty diving.
Exactly.
All right, so Tooth Fairy payouts have hit an all-time high. All the prices of everything are going up these days. What do you think the average price of a tooth for a kid these days is from the Tooth Fairy? What do you get?
I never got more than $1.
I know $1 is all you got.
And that's what I gave my son when he was losing teeth.
Remember when you became a parent, though, and they started popping teeth like popcorn, and it'd be like 8 o'clock at night, right before they go to bed, and they're in the bathroom wiggling this thing around, and it finally pops out, and they're so proud. It's like 8:15, and they run in. It's like, hey, Mom, Dad, I pulled a tooth. And you look in your wallet, and you don't have any cash.
Man.
So you have to put your pants and shoes back on and run to the ATM to get cash. And it's raining, or it's cold, and you're like, oh, man. The wife is digging through her purse trying to find a $1 bill.
I don't have any money, honey.
No, you're robbing the little sister's piggy bank trying to find that $1 bill. You don't want to put coins under the pillow.
Oh, no. Never do that.
The average payout for a tooth these days, $6.23.
Get out.
Yep.
$6.
It's either that or a dozen eggs. Because they're worth more.
Oh, man. I know a guy that used to get, because, I used to run around with kind of a rough crowd.
Oh, you don't mean it.
Back in the day, if you went to the dentist and you had a tooth pulled, man, you could milk that for about 3 months with some pain medicine.
They give you pain medicine for pulling? Oh, that's like a real tooth.
Way back in the day.
Okay.
I'm talking like in the 1980s.
Well, that's like a real tooth, not a baby tooth.
Right.
Those are going to fall out if you don't do anything. They'll just
so
fall
he would
out.
he would get a tooth pulled so he could get him a little bit of script for a few months. Then eventually he had all of his teeth pulled. So this is a true story. You know what he did? I
don't want to know.
When he didn't have any more teeth pulled, he started using his little old lady mother's false teeth.
And he would take those out?
No, because he didn't have any more teeth. She hadn't got. She had gotten a new set of teeth.
He used her dentures.
That
is disgusting.
That's what he did.
That is foul. Oh,
he was a rough dude. Easy.
Ooh.
He got all his teeth pulled so he could get him some dope, and when he had no more teeth, he used his mom's dentures.
Grandmother's dentures. Oh, my word. That's foul.
He had an opportunity. She had gotten a new set of dentures. He's like, yep, that's it for me.
Well, last weekend I enjoyed the cinematic feature Cocaine Bear.
Yes. Yep.
And it was the #1 movie coming out of the weekend.
Yep.
Now, going in, it was like Ant-Man or something like that. But coming out of the weekend, it raked in like over $23 million here domestically. The National Park Service has now found reason to issue warnings that you should not push a friend down in order to escape a bear.
So you mean if me and you in the woods, I can't sacrifice you?
You can't push me down and I can't trip you.
Oh, well, I guess, okay. So what do we do?
Because if we're out in the woods and a bear starts running, I don't have to outrun the bear. I just have to outrun you.
That's true, yeah.
Well, they've issued a warning. Apparently, people are getting the wrong idea when they're going to see this movie about how to interact with bears. Because we've all heard the same old thing, just play dead. Lay down and play dead.
Is that what you're supposed to do?
Well, that's what we've always heard. But now the National Park Service has issued a warning that you should not push a friend down in order to escape a bear. A lot of that went on in Cocaine Bear. So a lot of people have been seeing this movie, and the National Park Service or the National Forest Service is very
monitoring the situation.
Well, they play a very prevalent role in the movie themselves.
Okay,
because this thing's running around their park,
right?
So the National Forest Service plays a predominant role in the movie Cocaine Bear. So with that being said, they decided they would issue a warning because they're not. I'll just say they're not portrayed favorably in the movie. I mean, the bear's the star, no doubt about it.
Right.
The bear's the star. Everybody else is just there.
So what do they say to do?
They don't. It just says don't push a friend down in order to escape a bear. They give no alternative. Well, not in what I'm reading.
So I guess we're just kind of screwed. You know, whoever runs the fastest survives.
That's right. Yeah, that's it. So make sure you're not alone in the woods with a bear.
And if you are,
take someone with you who you feel willing to put out there as bait, and make sure you can outrun them.
Do some wind sprints for about 6 weeks.
That's right.
Where you go hiking in the.
That is exactly right. We've also got a list of the top cities and states that we'd move to if money didn't matter.
Oh, I know where one of mine is.
One?
Yep.
If money didn't matter,
right.
You could move to any city in the world. You want to do this now, or you want to wait till we come back?
I don't really. Well, we're almost at the break.
Yeah, we're almost at the break. Top of the hour is coming up. All right, we'll do that because I saw this and I was doing a quick run through in my mind, and I don't know where it would be.
I know where one of mine would be.
Is it tropical?
Sort of. Yeah.
Let's be as ambiguous as possible. I don't know where mine would be. I don't know what it would be. We'll go through the list and see what it says. See if I agree with what's on the list.
Okay.
I don't. I peeked at the list, and the first three I don't think is one of yours. Certainly wasn't one of mine.
All right.
So we'll do that when we come back. 6:59. We're bumping up against the top of the hour again. Multiple weather watches in effect. Flood watch, a tornado watch, and a high wind advisory all in effect today. Tornado watch is up until 1 o'clock. And rain is on the way, and it is clouding up, and I don't see any rain yet. I got, 3 minutes before I said it would start raining?
Yep.
But it's coming this way, and we're under a tornado watch until 1 o'clock. So back after this, hour number 2 of Daybreak, right here at 96.5.
This is WBFG. 96.5 FM. 96.5 FM. Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. It took the jury less than 3 hours to deliver a guilty verdict in the case of Alex Murdaugh, the disgraced South Carolina lawyer convicted of murdering his wife and one of their sons on the family estate in June of 2021. South Carolina Attorney General Alan Wilson says a verdict is further proof that the system works.
Winston Churchill said, "Democracy is the worst form of government except for every other kind." I kind of want to adopt that and say we may have the worst criminal justice system in the world, but it's better than every other kind that there is.
The audio, courtesy of WCIV, Murdaugh to be sentenced today, facing 30 years to life in prison on each of 2 murder counts. Lights out this morning across parts of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Power outages following last night's stormy weather, including suspected tornadoes, a touchdown there, and in Shreveport, Louisiana. And forecasters warn the severe weather threat is not over for parts of Arkansas, western Mississippi, and northern Louisiana. GOP presidential hopeful Nikki Haley, one of today's featured speakers at the Conservative Political Action Conference.
Haley is the first Republican to challenge former President Trump for the party's 2024 nomination, and she's hoping for a breakthrough at CPAC, which has been packed with Trump supporters in recent years. While some GOP presidential hopefuls, including Ron DeSantis and Mike Pence, are skipping this year's event, Haley will use her appearance to court the party's conservative base. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The Justice Department tells a federal appeals court that former President Trump can be sued by injured Capitol police officers and Democrat lawmakers over the U.S. Capitol riot. A Trump spokesman notes the president repeatedly called for peace, patriotism, and respect for our men and women of law enforcement on January 6th. Dow futures up 68 points. Townhall.com.
Thank the pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at ReliefFactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. ReliefFactor.com. ReliefFactor.com. Be the next success story.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need. Indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
A Russian mercenary outfit is urging Ukraine to get out of a town that's under siege.
Yevgeny Prigozhin, the owner of the Wagner Group military company, has released a video urging Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky to withdraw the remaining forces from Bakhmut to save their lives. Clad in military fatigues, Prigozhin charged that Bakhmut has been effectively encircled, leaving just one road that Ukrainian troops can use. The Wagner chief claims that the forces left in Bakhmut consist of elderly people and teenagers, urging Zelensky to pull them back to prevent them from being slaughtered. Following the statement, an elderly man and 2 young men, purportedly captured Ukrainian soldiers, were shown to make the plea to Zelensky. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
Nigeria's national police force says at least a dozen people have died today in an explosion near an illegal oil refinery in the Niger Delta region. News and analysis, townhall.com. The world of jazz has lost one of its greats.
Influential jazz innovator Wayne Shorter, whose lyrical jazz compositions and pioneering saxophone playing sounded through more than a half-century of American music, has died. He was 89. A representative said Shorter died Thursday in Los Angeles. Shorter was a tenor saxophonist who made his debut in 1959 and would go on to be a foundational member of 3 of the most seminal jazz groups, Art Blakey's Jazz Messengers, the Miles Davis Quintet, and Weather Report. Keith Peters reporting.
Angry and afraid, residents of East Palestine, Ohio say they're suffering various illnesses following the toxic train derailment more than a month ago. They want the railroad to buy their homes so they can move elsewhere. Residents confronted Norfolk Southern at a town hall forum last evening. This time the railroad was there, ordered to be there by the EPA. More on these stories at townhall.com.
King Jewelers is not your typical run-of-the-mill jewelry store. It's an iconic symbol of love. Custom handmade jewelry to suit your taste or melt down your old stuff and create something completely new. Grover has over 35 years as a certified jeweler with While You Wait services that include free jewelry cleaning, fine jewelry, friendly staff, custom designs, quality repairs, and of course, Grover. KingJewelersJackson.com, 16B Conrad Drive, Jackson. Follow King Jewelers Jackson on social media for special savings.
Hi, my name's Dawn. I have been taking BioT at Advanced Medical. My moods are better. I sleep well. My husband has complimented me on the mood swings that are no longer affecting our marriage.
Are these problems affecting your work, your relationships, and your quality of life? You'll be happy to know there's an exciting, natural solution available called BioT. BioT uses a natural way for men and women to correct these problems by safely and accurately balancing hormone levels without the use of synthetic injections or cream.
I got blood work done, and they identified what hormones were out of balance. They gave me the bioidentical hormone pellets through BioT, and now I have more energy, no more brain fog, I'm sleeping better, and I feel like my old self again. I would recommend Advanced Rehab and Medical and their BioT program to anyone suffering with symptoms like mine. It's been life-changing.
To book your appointment, call 731-462-8580. That's 731-462-8580.
Looking to add a little spice to your love life?
Nothing adds spice like gunpowder.
Jackson's only indoor shooting range. Date night at the range. Here's what you lovebirds get. A shooting lane for 2 targets, 100 rounds of ammo, eye and ear protection, and a $30 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse. All for just $99.99.
Now that's firepower.
Perfect for a gift card from the range. The Range, 2310 North Highland Avenue in Jackson.
Go to therange.com.
When the game goes into overtime. But
the game goes into overtime. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors at Jackson.
Love living in a rural community where neighbors help neighbors, even if we don't always agree on sports teams, politics, or the COVID-19 vaccines. We all have our opinions. Getting vaccinated is your choice, and no one can make your mind up for you. Talk to your healthcare provider about your questions to help make a decision that's right for you. GetVaccineAnswers.org has the latest information to help you decide. A message brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wake up with Wood. Daybreak with Greg Wood. Weekday morning 6 till 10 on 96.5 FM and NewsTalk.WTN.com.
.08 the time, Daybreak, 96.5 FM, and NewsTalk.WTN.com. I'm sorry, NewsTalk965.com now.
Get it right.
NewsTalk965.com. So, have you jumped on the new shower orange trend on TikTok? You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen these people?
Huh? Shower orange.
Shower orange. These people eating oranges in the shower. Did you do that this morning is what I'm asking.
No. I've only heard about yellow showers.
Ew, gross.
Is this different?
Yes, it's people eating oranges in the shower. It's all over TikTok right now. It supposedly has several benefits, and that's highly unlikely. But it does make less of a mess if you do it in the shower. Says the shower's heat may enhance the smell and taste of the orange, and eating more oranges is good for you, they say.
Okay.
When people are in the shower eating oranges, you get an enhanced sensory experience since the shower's heat is supposed to enhance the smell and taste of oranges. I bet that actually is true.
Let me check this out.
But it apparently is not a new thing. It popped up on Reddit back in 2015 and made the rounds again just a few years later, and now it's back, this time on TikTok. Shower trend.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah. Let me see. She fixing to get in the shower.
I'm going to watch all the way through.
That's why people are watching
for
those.
This chick right here.
That's why people are watching those. It has nothing to do with the orange.
Yeah, she's. I'll just be over here by myself for a minute.
Now I get it. It all makes sense now. It all makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
It is 7:10 the time here at the Midtown Studios, Gene Langley Ford Studios of 96.5 FM, and we've been following the weather all this month. Is that the same girl?
No.
Oh, it's a different girl.
I can't turn it around because the camera's working now. I'll just be over here by myself watching this for a minute. Just kind of give me just a second.
The videos are only 3 minutes long, you know.
Oh, I'll be back in about 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
We've been watching the weather all morning long. We're under a tornado watch here locally until 1. We're under a flood watch until noon and a high wind advisory until 6 o'clock tonight. And it keeps getting cloudier and cloudier and cloudier.
And you took a look out the studio windows here a little while ago. Said it looked really bad toward the north.
It does, because that's the way this system is tracking northeast. So it just has not reached us right here in Midtown Jackson yet, but it is coming. This line of showers has receded just a little bit or has slowed down, one or the other. I don't know how fast this storm was or is moving, but it has kind of bowed inward. And it's going to take another 15 or 20 minutes or so for it to get here. But it has already reached West Tennessee. And yes, I mean, there are clouds. I would say Three-Way has already gotten some pretty heavy rain so far. But we don't have any here in Midtown. So it's that close.
It's the calm before the storm.
But that bow or that recession in this line of showers has appeared in the last 15 or 20 minutes or so. So it has changed the anticipation time of the weather for us here locally in downtown. But it's cloudy. and even more cloudy back to the north. So just be aware that the areas north of Jackson and in the counties north of Madison, you're going to see it before we will. You're going to see it before we will because of the formation of this line of showers. But there are reds and oranges and yellows, and it's looking pretty nasty. It's already moved through Memphis. A lot of it has, and is on its way. And all of this is moving out of the southwest, going to the northeast at a pretty sharp angle. So it's really coming out of north central Arkansas, north Mississippi, and that's what's making its way here.
It looks like it's going to train right through us.
It will.
For a little while.
It will. And we've already had flash flood warnings over in the counties that border the Mississippi River earlier this morning. They were under a flash flood warning. We remain under a flood watch. That could change once this rain gets here.
And the high wind advisory with gusts of winds up to 60 miles an hour,
that's
which
in the
is
forecast.
Absurd.
That is in the forecast for today, so we'll have to wait and see. Big science stories this week included new researchers at Cambridge working on technology to literally give people a second set of robotic arms.
What was wrong?
You'd have your own arm. The second set of it should read a second set of arms, one of them robotic. One of the sets.
What's the guy's name in the Spider-Man?
Dr.
Ock or something,
Octo,
Octopus or whatever
Octavian
it is.
or something like
something,
that.
Yeah.
It would. I guess it would look similar to that.
So for whoever's drinking out of our coffee cups, Greg and I are both going to get a second set of arms and punch you right.
Says, wouldn't it
in the
be nice
nose.
to have an extra set of hands to help around the house? Researchers at Cambridge think it might actually be possible. Literally, a second set of arms, robotic ones, attached to your body that you can control. They've already done, and I've seen this. I mean, not in person, but I've seen a news story or something about it. I've seen it, where they've got a prototype out right now for a second thumb.
What would you do with a second thumb, though?
It attaches to your hand, some apparatus that attaches to your hand. 600 people have tried it. 98% of them were able to use it within the first minute. Doing what? I don't know.
Okay.
I think it would make texting fantastic.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, you'd look like a helicopter on the end of your hand.
Can you imagine 12-year-old girls with 4 thumbs?
I think for texting, I think that might be the only real use for it. I can't think of anything.
Okay.
I mean, what else would it help you do?
Good question.
I think it would get in the way, actually. But if you had to fire off a text, done.
That's it.
A second thumb, and it's already out there. In long-distance dating news, if you got a long-distance significant other,
I cannot confirm nor deny.
Well, a lot of people do the long-distance thing. They finally find a match on one of these dating apps, and they live in Timbuktu or Nova Scotia, and they got to try to keep this going as long as they can. But a new $40 kissing device out of China went viral this week.
I think I saw this.
Didn't they do an episode of Big Bang Theory on this? Didn't one of those nerds on that show develop a kissing machine?
I don't know, but I saw something like this where you can kiss this thing. And
that's no, I can't.
I was like, I don't know.
$40. It attaches to your phone and lets you kiss people remotely by making out with a set of rubber lips. Shut up. There was a Big Bang Theory episode where they did this.
I'm going to give Chat GPT a big old smooch right now.
Costs
on my
you
phone.
$40. It attaches to your phone and lets you kiss people remotely by making out with a set of rubber lips. That's disgusting.
Oh, so you put it on your phone and it's like you're kissing the other person.
I guess you
who's wherever.
Right. Yeah. I guess you like FaceTime. And you've got these lips and you just hold the phone up here. Just nosh these lips.
That sounds crazy, man.
That's disgusting. Who would do that?
ChatGPT and AI, they're taking over everything. Skynet, it will learn, it will dominate, it will control.
I mean, can you use tongue with this thing?
Oh!
Does it recognize that? Maybe I don't want to. Maybe I just don't want to peck and smooch. Maybe I want to get in there, do it the French way. I do.
Pepe Le Pew style.
I would. Where is that? Okay, is this a picture of it?
Please, no, not a picture.
I want to see what this looks like. Web-based kissing device horrifies Chinese social media users.
Not right.
But
oh my God, there it is.
That is exactly what it is.
Oh my God.
That looks profane. Let's see
my goodness.
All right, let's see what this does. All right, let's pull that down. We got to watch this commercial first. This looks profane. It looks like something you'd find. Well, never mind. Who would do that?
I cannot confirm.
I mean, you get them on the phone and, you're like hours away from each other. You hadn't seen each other in 2 weeks. Get them on FaceTime. It's like, hey, baby, go get the machine. I guess you both have to have one, right? Well, that would only make sense. Go get it.
Oh,
go get it right
just
now.
Just slobbering all over the screen on their phone.
Nobody is kissing the in-person kiss goodbye.
Nobody ever kissed me the way you do.
There we go.
But chances are nobody has ever kissed you this way through a lip-shaped device that plugs into your phone.
My God.
The idea is to send someone a kiss long distance. Sensors transmit pressure, movement, and temperature data that's received by another pair of lips. So your kiss is replicated on their lips. Who says?
A kiss is just a kiss.
Similar tech for remote kissing first surfaced less than a decade ago with the Kissinger. Not that Kissinger.
Kissinger.
A kiss sent via messenger was dubbed the Kissinger. Robotics lecturer Human Samani worked on that project, and he thinks there's an issue with the latest device being sold for about $40 in China. It's the lifelike lips.
Do you think it makes it too creepy?
Yes.
As one poster put it, weirdo.
Yeah.
It's called the uncanny valley effect. Research shows attraction to robotics plunges when things seem almost human.
My opinion is we shouldn't have real lip.
Many cited the Big Bang Theory episode.
There you go.
See? Internet kissing.
Seemed ahead of its time.
Like this? Really French it.
No wonder some think something is missing on the latest gizmo. Where's the tongue?
I'm impressed. This is very lifelike. Well, you just bit my tongue. Oh, I was being playful.
But can a pulsating e-kiss carry the electric charge of, say, Rhett Butler, though a remote kiss would have saved him from Scarlett's wrath?
That's true.
You low-down, cardly, nasty thing, you.
Oh, Lord.
Jeannie Mose, CNN, New York.
Look at that. Now, some weirdo out there that hadn't been out of his trailer house in 2 years is going to find another reason for that.
Oh, Lord.
That's going to happen.
Darling, I don't want just a kiss.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord.
That is disgusting.
No.
What have we come to? We've got all of this technology to change the world. We do anything we want to, primarily, almost. And that's what we come up with. And it's only $40. Very affordable.
Virtual kisses.
Yeah.
Across the world.
But some weirdo's going to repurpose that.
Oh, my God. That's disgusting.
That's what I said. Oh my word! That story was from CNN, so you can check that out. That was posted CNN Business, but that is, it's perverse. It's profane. That's all it is. 7:21. We're still watching the weather outside. 67 degrees. We're warming up just a bit. We're going to warm up today, and then we're going to start falling by afternoon. So we'll get up to around 70 degrees today, but by late this afternoon, we're going to be back down in the 50s after this system moves on through. So we'll just have to wait and see. But we are under a flood watch, a tornado watch, and a high wind advisory throughout the day and early evening tonight. So that's where we stand. 7:22. This is Daybreak.
Did you hear you can now earn your degree or certificate online at Jackson State Community College with degrees and certificates in criminal justice, business, healthcare, tech, and more? There's never been a better time to pursue your education online from the comfort of your own home. Jackson State also offers remote and hybrid options to cater to your busy schedule. Learn more about their online programs at jscc.edu/online.
Hi, I'm
Terica Smith, a local attorney and proud JMCSS graduate, but I'm also a JMCSS parent. We chose Jackson Madison County Schools for educational options that are innovative and challenging. Whether it's the Academic Academy at Northeast or early college and career opportunities at JCM Early College High, JMCSS offers classes and programs that will prepare my son for college and beyond. Plus, JMCSS is a level 5 district and tuition free. It just makes sense.
Hi, I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System. With an increased focus in the fine arts, athletics, workforce development, and early career opportunities for students, there's never been a better time to choose us. Tuition-free, Jackson-Madison County Schools. Visit jmcss.org today to schedule a tour or call 731-345-7011.
What do you think he'll get you this year? Candy? Flowers?
No, I was thinking something more sparkly.
Wow, congratulations. How many carats do you think he'll spring for?
Girl, forget the ring. I want some of that shiny 45 Automark bling.
At 45 Automark, get a jewelry box full of $1,000 savings just by walking in and saying,
"Show me the bling."
We've had an 18-year clean Carfax successful marriage to our customers, and to keep the romance alive, we're taking $1,000 off so our relationship thrives. Say,
"Show me the bling,"
and carry this loaded leather sunroof Honda CRV over the threshold for $11,900, or pick up this 60,000-mile 2020 Chevy Colorado for just $21,900. Don't fall for Mr. Megadigger with a sappy sales spiel and false love sting when every drive-in your Forever 45 ride will give you the feels like a sweet romance with $1,000 off because you said,
"Show me the bling."
So call 989-8059 or come to 45 Automark today. Wear your $1,000 off the perfect for you ride with that love's in bloom at first sight feeling that'll make you swoon and leave you reeling. Dealer!
When you need a heart expert, you need an expert with heart. Corbin Cardiology is dedicated to providing the highest quality cardiovascular care in West Tennessee. At Corbin Cardiology, our patient-centered approach, along with a full array of diagnostic imaging services, sets us apart from other cardiovascular clinics. Corbin Cardiology has clinics in Bartlett, Dyersburg, Lexington, and the newest location is now open in Jackson at 58 Murray Guard Drive. To schedule an appointment in office or by telemedicine, visit CorbinCardiology.com
or call 731-513-5701.
Welcome back in, 7:26, 4 away from the bottom of the hour. So we brought this up. I wanted you to be thinking about it, G-Unit.
What's that?
It was the this new poll found that if money wasn't a factor, the top dream cities we'd want to live in. So if money wasn't a factor, what's the number one dream city you'd want to live in? We're talking cities in the U.S., not other countries.
Oh, well then...
Does that change things?
Yes, it does for me.
Okay, sorry about that. Didn't have all the details when I first brought it up. A new survey looked into it, and what do you think was the number one city that people want? And this is an error on their part. They think that, but they don't want it. Okay. They would change their mind pretty quickly. So what's yours?
So what if I had to move in? If I could move anywhere in the United States?
Yeah.
I love the Gulf Coast of Florida. So anywhere along there.
All right. So Biloxi. What are we talking about?
Maybe not Biloxi.
What's on the Gulf Coast?
Well, that's what I said. Gulf Coast of Florida.
Oh, Florida.
So Pensacola, Navarre, Destin, any of that.
Okay.
I really like it down there.
All right. The number one city that people would move to in the United States if money was no factor is Los Angeles. And I think that's a mistake. I would not want to live there.
You need to know how to speak Spanish if you're moving to LA.
I'd see. I do not want to live in Los Angeles. It is followed closely by Atlanta, and there's no way I would live in Atlanta.
Man.
You'd have to drag me kicking and screaming to move to Atlanta. To move to Atlanta? No. Austin, Texas is number 3. Don't want to live in Austin, Texas either. Maybe years ago, like 30 years ago.
Yeah, right.
But not now. No way. The top states are California, Florida, and Hawaii. So you weren't even thinking about Hawaii.
Yeah.
I think I would get claustrophobic in Hawaii.
Because of being on the island?
It's so isolated. I mean, nothing's close to you. Okay. Nothing. And I think after a while, I would get claustrophobic in Hawaii, even on the Big Island. I don't think I would like it in Hawaii. I mean, it'd be fun for a little while. Be fun for like 2 weeks, because you're out in the water and you're drinking the umbrella drinks and you're going here and doing this and seeing the waterfalls and hiking to the volcanoes and doing. Okay, so fine. 2 weeks in, okay. After that, there's nothing. You've done it all, or you think you have, and you're like, man, I'm stuck out here in the middle of the biggest ocean in the world. I can't go anywhere. I can't do anything. I think I'd get claustrophobic. All right, so Atlanta was number 2, followed by Austin. There is a 5-way tie between Las Vegas, Miami, New York, Boston, and Dallas. Miami might be okay.
Miami might be nice.
If you could be on South Beach every day.
I wouldn't mind finding a little small kind of isolated area where
in Miami,
where you're by the beach and it's not a real tourist trap, and you're not in downtown Miami or whatever where it might not be the safest, or what I'm trying to say. I would like to find a safe, isolated place on the beach where nobody knows about it.
Oh, you need to go to Meaden. They got the Hatchie River. It runs through right close. You got the beach there. You could boat, swim, and it's isolated.
That's one way to put it.
Just go to Meaden. They'd be glad to have you.
It's not far from Pine Ridge, baby.
Oh, it is not. It's just right down the road. You could get your own stool at the bar.
Have you ever done time at Pine Ridge?
No, I've never and won't.
Never been to Pine Ridge.
Never.
It is an experience you must not miss.
That's what I hear, but I'm gonna have to miss it.
Okay,
I'm gonna have to miss it.
I tell you what, I will go with you to eat chicken livers one day. If you'll go with me to hear karaoke at Pine Ridge.
Oh my gosh! Give me a date.
We'll work it out.
Look at your calendar and let me know when it is, and I'll see what I can do.
Because, brother, that is it's something rolling up into Pine Ridge on a Saturday night.
Oh, we got to go on a Saturday night to get the full experience?
Hey, darling, are you new here?
They don't say that to you, though, do they? Are you new here?
Are you new here? You like to slow dance?
Oh, my God.
You slow dance with big girls?
Oh! Come on. I don't think you're hyping this up quite the way they would appreciate it.
Okay.
Oh, boy, 7:30 the time. Let's look in and on some sports this morning, find out what's going on. We did have some basketball play, and we've got more this weekend and next week as well.
It is all basketball.
It's not going to stop until close to the end of this month.
It will not stop anytime soon. It's Morning Sports brought to you by Jackson IV and Wellness, Jackson Madison County School System, Mulligan's. Log on to mulligans.com, Family Medical, King Jewelers, and Corbin Cardiology. So, Greg, the men's regions tournaments finished up last night, but the night before, the ladies were on center court. So let's go back through a few of those scores.
Okay.
Wayne County, which is just east of Savannah, they beat Huntland to win the Region 5 Single A tournament. They will host a sub-state game, Perry County, on Saturday night. Region 6A, McKenzie, the defending state champions in 6A, the women's, beat Perry County 75-49. They will host Huntland on Saturday night. Region 6-2A, Westview, Westview.
Did you say Huntland?
Huntland.
Where's that?
I don't know.
Huntland. Huntland High.
Had never heard of it until I was preparing for this. Westview, in a absolute battle, beat Gibson County 47-43. Westview will host Summertown, and again, this is on Saturday night. And the game that Dan and I were at, Southside and South Gibson, that was the game that started at Chester County High School and finished at Freed-Hardeman.
Yeah.
They didn't have enough time to get up on the roof and patch it up with some Flex Seal. Southside beat the pants off of South Gibson 73-33. They will host Murfreesboro Central.
That's a regional final, 73-33.
There was a region final.
Wow.
Out of 8 teams scattered as far away from Hardin County all the way to South Gibson.
Okay.
Southside destroyed them, went through the district and the region like a chainsaw through a stick of butter. And they will host Murfreesboro Central on Saturday night. Dapper Dan and I will be there. Live tip-off is at 7 o'clock. We will be there a little bit early. Listen to 96.5 for all the action coming up Saturday night. Southside hosting Murfreesboro Central with a trip to the dance on the line. This morning's sports brought to you by Lifeline Voice and Data, Cambridge Men's Clothier, Precision Auto Body in Milan, Southeastern Termite and Pest Control, Jackson State Community College. Plan your future at jscc.edu. Advanced Rehab and Medical, The Range, Indoor Shooting Range, and Dapper Dan's favorite, Carico's Pizza.
All right, it's 7:34 the time, 26 away from the top of the hour. 67 degrees outside here in Midtown Jackson at the Gene Langley Ford Studios. And G-Unit, do you remember here a month or so ago that female police officer in Laverne, Tennessee, being dismissed?
How could you not hear about that?
Okay, well, she's been quiet about it. She's been dismissed, and there's been disciplinary actions taken against other officers. I think the chief lost his job over this as well. But she's been silent about the whole thing up until now. Megan Hall has broken her silence for the first time since being fired after a salacious sex scandal with 7 fellow officers surfaced. This is Laverne, Tennessee.
Yeah, up close to Nashville.
She's 26 years old, and she said that she felt terrorized by her superiors, and earlier this week revealed in a federal civil rights case, that's right, a civil rights case she's suing, that she felt sexually groomed. The lawsuit names 4 colleagues as defendants and was filed in the United States District Court in the Middle District of Tennessee.
This was just bizarre.
She states in the filing, in the lawsuit, that she did say no. She told WTVF Channel 5 Nashville that she felt terrorized by her superiors and earlier this week revealed that she felt sexually groomed. The lawsuit names several high-profile police officers from the Laverne Police Department and claims that they took advantage of her poor mental state and vulnerabilities as she navigated a troubled marriage. She echoed claims being made in the 51-page lawsuit in her first interview since the incident, stressing that while she's not calling it rape, she gave in from the pressure. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying a word of it. I'm not buying a word of it.
It's more bizarre all the time.
Detailed descriptions of her sexual exploits with fellow officers emerged from the Tennessee Police Department, the lawsuit claiming that the affairs took shape after her on-the-job affair with one Sergeant Lewis Powell. I know what most people are saying. You could have said no. I get it. But my response to them is I did say no, and he wouldn't take it for an answer, she revealed in the tell-all with Channel 5. Eventually, I gave in from pressure, she added. It's claimed that from there, she had sexual relationships with then Larry Holiday, Patrick Magliocco, Ty McGowan, Juan Lugo Perez, Gavin Schroberl, and Detective Seneca Shields. Powell, Lugo Perez, McGowan, and Shields were fired over the incidents. The others, however, have kept their jobs but have been suspended. Last month, the police chief, Chip Davis, was also fired. She, on the other hand, blamed her behavior on a troubled marriage, said she was targeted by the department's all-male second shift and was lured into a life of promiscuity. 51-page lawsuit. She's suing them all. I'm not buying it. She acts like she's not complicit in any of this. And I just don't believe it.
I don't know what to think.
Well, I know what to think.
I know
I know exactly what to think.
Bizarre, and I should.
I mean, she's taken some heat and she duly should take some heat because she's been quiet about this until now when she files a 51-page lawsuit in federal court. That tells me all I need to know. All I need to know. She's a part of this. She is the part of it from the very get-go. She was fired in January. In an interview during an internal investigation, she admitted that she performed sex acts on duty officers on police property, including a threesome with one cop and his wife. And she said no. I said no. I felt pressured with a cop and his wife. And then you saw how several others were included in this.
Mm-hmm.
The lawsuit claims where Miss Hall sought role models at her new job, she instead found predators. Her supervisors and the chief groomed her for sexual exploitation. Now look, I know stuff goes on at the workplace.
Mm-hmm.
And I know police departments all over the country are hotbeds for this kind of activity.
It does go
Everybody knows that.
It does go on in the workplace. I see you all the time on your Grindr app, and I'm like, whatever. It's none of my business. Just stay out of it.
Look, man, if you find me on there, just keep scrolling. You know what I'm saying? Don't stop. Just keep scrolling. I don't need no left or right swipes from you. The suit stated that Hall was 24 years old when she first applied for a job at the Laverne Police Department back in 2020 and claims she first became sexually involved with a Sergeant Lewis Powell earlier that year. And there's some of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's the chief. There's her husband. We don't have a picture of the one officer's wife that she was also involved with. I mean, you just don't get pressured into all of that. You might get pressured once, maybe twice. You know, if you're in a patrol car with your partner and it's late at night and the stakeout's not going anywhere, you know, what else can we do? One of us needs to stay awake. So things happen. But it doesn't happen again and again and again and again. And, let me bring my wife into it. And again and again. And there's photos involved. And up to this point, she has not released any of the photos to her superiors. Why they fired her. Because she wouldn't turn over those photos that were made with a police department telephone. They knew there were pictures out there.
I didn't know that part.
But now she's probably going to have to turn them over. She's filed this 51-page lawsuit. And that's going to blow it all out of the water. I'm just not buying this girl.
This sounds bizarre.
I'm not buying this girl.
And
I'm not buying what she's selling. I just don't. Just not doing it.
No comment.
But it's been a big story all over the country.
It has.
All over the country.
You cannot go anywhere without hearing about this.
I mean, nationwide, they're talking about it on talk shows, not unlike this one. I heard one last night. They were talking about it. A 51-page lawsuit. She's suing them all. 7:41, 19 away from the top of the hour. We're still waiting on the rain here in Midtown Jackson. It is 68 degrees. We're going to a high today around 70, and we're almost there. From there, we'll start decreasing in temperature as this rain system moves on through, because back behind there, as always, is cooler air. So this afternoon, late, it'll be in the 50s when you get off work this afternoon. We're almost at 70 right now. Flood watch in effect, tornado watch in effect, and a high wind advisory in effect for West Tennessee right now. Tornado watch in effect till 1, the flood watch in effect until noon, and the high wind advisory in effect until 6 o'clock tonight. We're going to peek out the window during this break right here. Daybreak 96.5, News Talk 96.5.com.
Vintage doesn't always mean long-lasting. As your home systems age, your repair costs, utility bills, and breakdowns rise. During Hiller's Vintage Showdown, we're giving away a free new system to the owner of the oldest HVAC unit. Submit a picture of your old equipment online to see if you qualify as the winner. Everybody wins with trade-in credits plus 0% financing for up to 48 months with approved credit on select new HVAC systems. Enter to win now at happyhiller.com.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
The Rocket is coming to Jackson April 13th, Meridian Baptist Church. Roger Clemens will be the guest at the 4th annual benefit to the Trey Lindsay Scholarship. Roger Clemens has an unprecedented 7 Cy Young Awards, 354 wins, and 4,672 strikeouts. Clemens' career spanned 24 years with the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, and Astros. The 11-time All-Star, winning 2 World Series with the New York Yankees. Silent auction is huge with sports celebrity memorabilia along with hunts, duck calls, vacation packages, restaurant packages, and more. Follow posts on Facebook mentioning items leading up to the event. Call 731-217-7187, 731-217-7187 for table sponsor or ticket information. Brought to you by Work Care Resources and News Talk 96.5 FM and NewsTalkWTN.com.
Looking to add a little spice to your love life?
Nothing adds spice like gunpowder.
Jackson's only indoor shooting range, date night at the range. Here's what you lovebirds get: a shooting lane for 2 targets, 100 rounds of ammo, eye and ear protection, and a $30 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse. All for just $99.99.
Now that's firepower.
Perfect for a gift card from the range. The Range, 2310 North Highland Avenue in Jackson.
Go to therange.com.
Is your office or home office in need of a new printer, copier, fax, or multifunction machine? Do you need business cards, envelopes, or office supplies? Are you looking to upgrade to new office furniture? Office World Incorporated in Trenton has been serving all of the Gibson County and the West Tennessee area for over 65 years. Office World is a franchise partner of OfficeZilla. Call today, 731-855-9131, or email officeworldinc@gmail.com.
My name is Steven and I'm 41 years old. I started having problems with my weight, my focus, my energy all around. I spent thousands of dollars a year on supplements trying to get my weight down, and it never worked.
Are these problems affecting your work, your relationships, and your quality of life? You'll be happy to know there is an exciting, natural solution available called BioT. BioT uses a natural way for men and women to correct these problems by safely and accurately balancing hormone levels without the use of synthetic injections or cream.
So I got the treatment, and it has been the best decision of my life. I feel great. I'm losing weight. I have more energy. I'm getting stronger in the gym, and I can focus so much better. And I notice that I also sleep better, and I'm always in a good mood. And I believe it's all because of the BioT treatment.
To schedule an appointment to find out if BioTE is right for you, call 731-462-3596. That's 731-462-3596.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson.
Take us with you wherever you go. Download our free apps for Apple and Android. Visit NewsTalkWTN.com. Then click to download.
So when you go grab lunch today and you want a cheeseburger, and that's good for lunch any day, you're probably not too concerned with which one is healthy or not. We don't generally think of cheeseburgers as healthy. But some are worse for you than others. There's a new study out by nutritionists at gambling.com. What? Nutritionists at gambling.com.
So the gamblers are like...
we got to stay long enough to hit the jackpot, so eat up, boys. All right, so anyway, there's question marks all by that. Anyway, they ranked the healthiest fast food cheeseburgers based on things like calories, fat, sugar, sodium, blah, 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 per ounce. In the end, the Whataburger with cheese was the #1 healthiest cheeseburger. I'm down with that.
Do you like Whataburger?
I love Whataburger.
I love me some Whataburger.
They opened the first one in Memphis around the first of the year, and I drive by it every weekend, going to where I'm going. And the line right now is just wrapped around the building.
I bet.
You can't even turn off of the street into the place.
Yeah.
And it's still like that.
Yes.
It's crazy.
It's the best fast food hamburger that I've ever eaten.
It's good. It's good.
It even is. Well, let me paraphrase that. It's neck and neck with In-N-Out Burger.
Well, it's the Whataburger with cheese #1 is followed closely by the cheeseburger at In-N-Out. Now, I had an In-N-Out. I've had it several times, and it's not as good as Whataburger at all. In fact, I would pick like Wendy's or something as equal to In-N-Out.
Here's the thing that I don't like about
I just don't think it's that great.
The sauce that they put on the In-N-Out is just not my thing.
That relish sauce?
It's something.
It's got relish in it.
Yeah. And
well, you can get it without that, dude.
But the last time I had it, I was at an In-N-Out in Texas.
Yeah.
And I forgot to add it. I forgot to ask for them to keep the sauce off of it.
Yeah.
And I had the sauce on it, and I'm like, I don't like the sauce.
Yeah.
The burgers are outstanding.
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, yeah, they're not a Whataburger, I don't think. And I'd probably eat Wendy's over an In-N-Out.
You know that In-N-Out is primarily a West Coast and Texas chain.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what they did? They're moving some offices to the state of Tennessee.
In-N-Out?
Yes, sir. They had a big announcement.
Man, it is raining like nuts out there.
Oh, Lord.
That's typhoon rain right there.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be here for the next 20 minutes or so hang on, everybody. So where did they put the offices?
I think it's in Nashville.
Yeah.
But the owner, who was she's a young lady, and I don't remember her name. Her father started the chain, and she was the sole survivor.
Is it Mrs. In-N-Out? Is that their name? In-N-Out?
I don't know.
In-N-Out.
She's good looking, though. I know that.
She's not a former police officer at Laverne, is she?
She is not.
Oh, okay. As long as it's not her.
But In-N-Out does have a corporate office in the state of Tennessee now.
So are we to jump to the conclusion that we're about to get In-N-Out in Tennessee?
That's what I'm jumping to.
Because we got Whataburger now.
Yep.
One in Memphis is already open.
Yep.
And people are going nuts over it.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so Whataburger and In-N-Out with the top 2 healthiest cheeseburgers. And says Texas has the most Whataburger locations and the second most In-N-Outs. So Texas has got the cheeseburger market pretty much blanketed. Rally's, also known as Checkers, is a distant third, followed by Culver's, Del Taco, Dairy Queen, Carl's Jr., a.k.a. Hardee's, and then McDonald's. Five Guys is 9th, then Wendy's.
Have you ever been to a Del Taco?
No.
It's good.
I've never been to a Culver's either, but I see them all the time when I go to Florida.
If you go to Del Taco, you'll never want to go to Taco Bell again.
Really?
Yeah.
But they're talking about cheeseburgers. Del Taco has a cheeseburger?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh. Because Taco Bell doesn't have a cheeseburger.
You're right. But
so what's apples and oranges here?
I'm just talking about Del Taco's tacos as compared to Taco Bell's tacos.
Oh, okay.
You'll drive past 10 Taco Bells to go to Del Taco.
There's another drop-off, really famous chain of burgers that did not even make the list.
Uh-oh.
Didn't even get included in the graphic that they issued with this study. Came in dead last. Burger King.
You can't have it your way there.
Didn't even make the graphic. Came in dead last. They ran out of slices of pie on their graph, and Burger King didn't even get a piece.
Ew.
The unhealthiest burger. So we've got a Whataburger in Tennessee. Do we have it? We don't have an In-N-Out yet, do we?
I don't think we have an actual In-N-Out location. I do know we have In-N-Out corporate offices in Tennessee now.
How long has that been?
I think I saw
that fairly new?
A couple of months ago, something like that.
Okay.
Let me see.
Yeah. Yeah, find out. Because I think the Whataburger in Memphis. No, they've got the Whataburger in Nashville too, don't they?
They've got one over in Lebanon because we stopped there on the way home from a UT football game.
Okay. Wow, going out of the way, going all the way to Lebanon to get a Whataburger.
No, it was right on the way. We were coming home from the Tennessee and Florida game last year.
Is it right there? Is it right there at the exit,
Yeah,
or you got to go into town?
It's close to the exit. It's maybe a quarter mile off the exit.
Man, last time I went to Lebanon, I was like, man,
look at this!
Get me out of here!
I found it.
In-N-Out Burger headed east. Restaurant's opening in Tennessee.
This is
Where is it going?
According to WTKR, apparently a Hampton Roads, North Carolina news outlet.
Where's it going?
California-based In-N-Out Burger chain has announced plans for its move eastward expansion to date, with plans to open restaurants and a corporate hub in Tennessee.
Yeah, you called it right, man. You got it.
Lindsay Snyder, that's her name.
Where are they going?
They didn't say.
We'll read it. It's got to be in there.
The new fast food restaurants in Tennessee are expected to first open in the Nashville area in 2026.
What?
That's what it says.
I can't wait that long. That's 3 years.
Well, you got to go jump on a plane to go to Las Vegas to get your In-N-Out
I'm not doing that. I'm telling you, I didn't particularly care for it. The times I've had it, I was like, I've had better.
Keep the sauce off of it, and it'll be good.
Yeah. I'd rather have a slug burger.
From UC Santa Cruz?
No, from Selmer. You never had a slug burger?
No.
Boy.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's good. You've never had a slug burger.
Is it some little place down there like
It is.
Pine Ridge?
No, it's a little better than that. I mean, I wouldn't eat anything from Pine Ridge. But you can have a slug burger.
Okay.
You want to go to Selmer one day?
Drive down to Selmer. Listen, man, I'm all for these little mom and pop places.
Man, they're all over the place down there. Between Selmer and Corinth, I bet there's a dozen places you can get slug burgers.
Right?
Yep.
So what's in it?
A slug and pickle onion and mustard.
Not the slug that crawls on the ground.
No, the slug is the amount.
Okay.
It's a slug. You get a slug burger.
Like a fistful of
Ever how much a slug is? I don't know how much. I don't know how big a slug is, but yeah, it's a slug burger.
Yeah, I'd get it.
And you can get your bun dipped if you ask. You can get your bun dipped, and I always get my bun dipped.
In what?
Grease.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would be good.
Get your bun dipped. And put that shine on it.
I've got a family
member. Make it so
member
slick you can't hold on to it.
Serving in Europe right now in the military, and they stopped in at this hot dog place. And this hot dog place, and he sent pictures of it. It looks fantastic. They will toast the hot dog buns.
Yeah.
And I've never seen that ever before.
Yeah.
It looks really good.
Yeah. People actually toast their buns.
Hot dog buns.
Yeah, hot dog.
I've never seen that.
Now, the best hot dog for me is one you get at a ball game. It doesn't matter what the sport is, as long as it's wrapped up in aluminum foil and has been sitting in that steamer for a half hour.
Right.
Because it's all wet and soggy.
Right.
You know, and it's almost like a hot dog rolled up in wet chewing gum. Because that bun is about to disintegrate because it's been steaming, you know, and it's wet and it's falling apart and it sticks to the roof of your mouth. That's the best. That's the best.
That sounds like some of the hot dogs I ate at about 3 o'clock in the morning.
That's them?
At the Circus Casino in Las Vegas.
That's them. Yeah. They're better at a ball game if you're sitting in the bleachers of whatever.
And had about 7 beers and
just some of those wet hot dogs.
About 92 degrees outside.
Mm-hmm. That's the best ones. The best ones, hand down. Y'all, it is Friday, and we're heading into the weekend. It's 7:55 here at 96.5. This is Daybreak. Greg Wood and G-Unit in the studio. I don't know if we're going to have time to come back or not. If not, you guys have a great weekend. Watch out for this weather today because we've got more on the way, and it'll be cooling off this afternoon and for the weekend. But tomorrow, sunny skies, highs in the 70s. Not bad. We'll take it.
Welcome to Hampton Inn & Suites of Jackson. Make yourself at home in any of the 83 rooms or suites. Hampton Inn & Suites exit 83 at I-40 is minutes away from all Jackson destinations like the West Tennessee Healthcare Sportsplex, Casey Jones Village, Jackson Madison County General Hospital, and many industrial complexes. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, free parking, and free hot breakfast. Also a 24-hour fitness and business center. Welcome to West Tennessee. Make your reservations now by calling direct at 731-427-6100 or visit hampton.com.
Hi, my name's Dawn. I have been taking BioT at Advanced Medical. My moods are better. I sleep well. My husband has complimented me on the mood swings that are no longer affecting our marriage.
Are these problems affecting your work, your relationships, and your quality of life? You'll be happy to know there's an exciting, natural solution available called BioT. BioT uses a natural way for men and women to correct these problems by safely and accurately balancing hormone levels without the use of synthetic injections or cream.
I got blood work done, and they identified what hormones were out of balance. They gave me the bioidentical hormone pellets through BioT, and now I have more energy, no more brain fog, I'm sleeping better, and I feel like my old self again. I would recommend Advanced Rehab and Medical and their BioT program to anyone suffering with symptoms like mine. It's been life-changing.
To book your appointment, call 731-462-8580. That's 731-462-8580.
Hey y'all, this is Mary at Mulligan's. Come see us soon before the new wears off. Hard to believe, but we're coming upon an anniversary in our locally family-owned business at Union University Drive. We still have our daily lunch specials, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., which will remind you of Grandma's cooking, or try our Irish dishes, fish and chips, Reuben's and shepherd's pie, or everyone's favorite, the Mully Burger. And how about brunch on Saturdays and Sundays? Yep, every weekend, serving Jackson for over 25 years. See you soon at Mulligan's.
Looks like the rain has slacked off a little here in Midtown. It was coming a torrent just a few moments ago. Looks like it's slacked off a little bit now. Just be aware of the weather today, because we got rain still in the forecast up until about 1 o'clock this afternoon. Tornado watch in effect until 1. Flashed a flood watch in effect until noon. It's a flood watch until noon. And then that high wind advisory stays with us until 6 o'clock tonight. Is that the current radar?
That is the current radar. And it looks as if the worst of it is going to be coming through Jackson between about 9:30 and 10 o'clock.
Really?
Yeah.
So that wasn't the worst of it?
No.
Wow.
That was the front end of it, bro.
Jeez. That was a lot of rain.
Get ready.
Guys, have a great weekend. The weekend's going to be very nice. Sunny skies both Saturday and Sunday. A little warmer on Saturday than Sunday, but we got sunshine. It's going to be nice. We just got to get through today and tonight and get all this rain out of here. But you guys have a great weekend. We'll do it again Monday right here at 96.5 News Talk 965.com.
I am the sun and air of nothing in particular.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM, 96.5 FM, Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. And now, disbarred attorney from a prominent South Carolina family is scheduled to be sentenced today after being convicted of killing his wife and youngest son.
54-year-old Alec Murdaugh faces 30 years to life in prison without parole for each murder charge. The jury found Murdaugh guilty on Thursday after deliberating for less than 3 hours. Lead prosecutor Creighton Waters.
It doesn't matter what you think, how prominent you are. If you do wrong, if you break the law, if you murder, then justice will be done in South Carolina.
Murdaugh's 52-year-old wife Maggie was shot several times with a rifle, and their 22-year-old son Paul was shot twice with a handgun at the kennels of their rural Colleton County, South Carolina home in June 2021. I'm Donna Warder.
Ailing residents of East Palestine, Ohio, say Norfolk Southern should buy their homes so they can move away from the scene of last month's toxic train derailment. Buildings are damaged, power is out across North Texas following severe weather, including suspected tornadoes last night. Michael Roberts' apartment building lost its roof in Hurst, that's northeast of Dallas.
You can see it coming in, it got really windy, and out of nowhere it hit, and the whole building started sinking, and then by the time we realized the whole, ceiling is going upstairs, you start hearing the water dripping, but it got really crazy, it almost picked up the truck out back.
He He spoke with KDFW Fox 4, Shreveport, Louisiana, also pummeled by powerful storms. And the threat is not over today for parts of Arkansas, western Mississippi, and northern Louisiana. A shingles diagnosis has landed Democrat Senator Dianne Feinstein in the hospital in San Francisco. The 89-year-old senator says she expects a full recovery, hopes to be back on Capitol Hill later in the month. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Relief Factor, pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. Relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. Be the next success story.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you could cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need. Indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign, and we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
A court in Belarus has sentenced Nobel Peace Prize winner Alex Bialyatsky to 10 years in prison.
Mr. Bialyatsky is the founder of Vyasna, a leading human rights organization in Belarus. His deputy, Valyansyn Stefanovich, was on trial with him. He was jailed for 9 years. And activist Uladzimir Lapkovich was handed a 7-year prison term. They were found guilty of economic crimes and of funding protests. The case against them is widely seen as politically motivated. Vyasna has been monitoring and documenting human rights abuses in Belarus as the country's authoritarian leader, Alexander Lukashenko, has been suppressing dissent and cracking down on civil society.
The BBC's Steve Rosenberg. A new crew from the U.S., Russia, and the UAE has arrived at the International Space Station. Today's docking delayed 1 hour because of a switch problem with one of the capsule's docking hooks. News and analysis. Townhall.com. Praised for her work defending the little guy, now she's being likened to a terrorist.
Ohio officials are classifying environmental watchdog Aaron Brockovich as a, quote, special interest terrorism threat, end quote, in East Palestine, Ohio. The designation was made by the Ohio Statewide Terrorism and Crime Center Analysis Unit, who issued a warning ahead of Brockovich's visit to the town polluted by a toxic train derailment. According to Yahoo News, former Department of Homeland Security Acting Undersecretary John Cohen said that including Brockovich's name was, quote, problematic, end quote. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Tesla will be getting more than $330 million in tax breaks from Nevada to massively expand its vehicle battery facility near Reno and add electric semi-truck production. That deal has been approved by the Governor's Office of Economic Development. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Precision Auto Body strives to provide you with excellent customer care. Precision Auto Body will gladly handle your insurance work. Get a free quote by logging on to precisionautobodytn.com. A lifetime warranty on any auto body or paint work. Precision Auto Body. Visit our location nearest you in Milan, Martin, or Dyersburg. precisionautobodytn.com.
King Jewelers is not your typical run-of-the-mill jewelry store. It's an iconic symbol of love. Custom handmade jewelry to suit your taste or melt down your old stuff and create something completely new. Grover has over 35 years as a certified jeweler with While You Wait services that include free jewelry cleaning, fine jewelry, friendly staff, custom designs, quality repairs, and of course, Grover. KingJewelersJackson.com, 16B Conrad Drive, Jackson. Follow King Jewelers Jackson on social media for special savings.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson.
Looking to add a little spice to your love life?
Nothing adds spice like gunpowder.
Jackson's only indoor shooting range, date night at the range. Here's what you lovebirds get. A shooting lane for two targets, 100 rounds of ammo, eye and ear protection, and a $30 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse. All for just $99.99.
Now that's firepower.
Perfect for a gift card from The Range. The Range, 2310 North Highland Avenue in Jackson.
Go to therange.com.
Put a frog in boiling water and it'll jump right out. But put a frog in cool water and slowly heat it up, that frog will boil. As veterans, we tell ourselves the lie that we can handle anything. We let the water boil. You are not a frog. If you or a veteran you know needs support, don't wait. Reach out. Find resources at va.gov/reach. That's va.gov/reach. Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
96.5 FM. Home of the Dan Reeves Show.
Weekday afternoons, 3 till 6.
What a great American. And they blew out. Well, they put a rented mule on South Gibson last night. What was it, like 71 to like 39?
I reckon, man. That's all I know is they're playing some outstanding basketball.
Yes, they are.
Just got to keep it going.
They're juggernauts. I tell you right now, we were there, and it was a leaky roof. All that rained yesterday, Larry, and they sprung a leak, and it was right over mid-court. With about 4 minutes left in the first half, I got to tell you, Brandon Pipkin, they made a decision to move that game over to Freed Hardeman. It was hard on the announcers. I wish they would at least check with me. I had to put all the equipment up and go to Freed Hardeman. Of course, I'm kidding. And restarted around 8:15, but 4 minutes left in the first half. Did a 3-minute halftime, and Jackson Southside took a 12-point game and blew it open. 30 points by the end of the third quarter was the lead. And the Southside Lady Hawks, they're very unladylike. That's a compliment. That was a rented mule last night. Fourth time this year they've beaten South Gibson. And South Gibson played them closer than any team this year. Yes, the first time they met, it was a 3-point win for Southside in Medina. But the last 3 times, rented mules. Last night, government mule. When you get above 40 points, that's a government mule. But I got to tell you, South Gibson, don't lose faith. That's a very good basketball team, Larry. They're ranked in the top 10. They're in the SEP state. They got to hit the road Saturday. We'll be at Southside. Southside will host Murfreesboro Central, I believe. Yes. Trey Smith is in the house, and ain't no doubt. I tell you, you look great in black and gold, man. How you doing, Trey?
Doing good. Doing real good.
Great to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
We're going to get the weather because the weather outside can be frightful. And Larry, we've got some more stuff headed this way. Larry Newman is in the weather center in front of the Doppler.
Currently it's 63 degrees and cloudy. It feels like 63 degrees. The low tonight will be 62. Showers and thunderstorms, locally heavy rainfall possible. Windy with lows in the upper 50s. Temperature rising into the mid-60s after midnight. Southeast winds 10 to 15 miles per hour, increasing to 20 to 30 miles per hour, with gusts up to 40 miles per hour after midnight. Chance of rain near 100%. So more tonight of what we had yesterday.
More of the same, in other words. So we'll keep our eye as we continue to follow this developing weather situation. And before the hate mail starts, don't blame Larry. He's just reporting and reading the teleprompter. He has nothing to do with the actual weather. Everybody talks about the weather, but no one does anything about it. No, they don't. So we'll get to that when we return in our conversation with Trey Smith and Mickey Morley. Larry, first time I met Trey, it was our first year doing the play-by-play exclusively for USJ. And Mickey says, hey, come on out to meet the Bruins Day. And let's tell everybody what we're about to do. And So I did, and I saw Trey, and I said, where's the big guy going to college? He said, Mickey looked at me and grinned and said, he's a freshman. He said, I tell you, he's going to win a Super Bowl, probably with his Chiefs.
Yeah, had money on it.
It's 3:16, and we'll be right back. Trey Smith is here, Super Bowl champion with the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll be right back. Stay right there.
It's always severe weather season in West Tennessee. Severe weather strikes here for you.
Thing about it is, unlike yours, when you drop them, these things check. Yours ain't. Worry about that big.
I know the one they got 2019 is huge. I know they got to outdo it this year. So.
Well, it's going, what let's think about it. What type of training you want to have now?
I'll put on this as a 15.
Well, okay, well, it's going to be
Yeah.
monster.
I'm
going to put all 4 of mine on the lane. I look like I work for the Trenton Fire Department most of the time.
Look at the guy, I was like, man, he got the whole jumpsuit on.
Look at that guy. What's wrong with him? So you doing what for the PA?
They're having a NFL PA like representative workshop. I won't be a rep. I won't be a
No,
I don't want that. They allotted each organization 6 tickets.
Okay.
So like as soon as our PA guy told us, I was like, I'll take it. Free trip to Hawaii, so I'll take that. But yeah, I'll be down there. Hawaii for a week, but I gotta go to LA because my sister, she signed me up for William and Morris Career Tour. So it's like some type of networking event. I gotta do it for 2 days prior. And from there, we'll fly to Maui.
You got to pay me 2 days to get your 6 days.
Yeah, basically. Literally, I have to pay my way there.
That's what you're saying. That's awesome. Man, I'm going to tell you something. Man, it's so good to see you. That's your dad. This is what that's the best thing.
Yeah.
And it's like everything is balance. Everything. That's just coming from the old high school guy. That's what I mean. It was like everything. Close, man. That's what it looked like to me. That's the best kind of feet-wise,
George is not your
knowledge-wise.
typical run-of-the-mill jewelry store. It's an iconic symbol of love. Custom handmade jewelry to suit your taste or melt down your old stuff and create something completely new. Grover has over 35 years as a certified jeweler with value-added services that include free jewelry.
So far, just said it down the street. Okay. That's, I mean, I'm talking about the very first suit.
KingJewelersJackson.com, 16B Conrad Drive, Jackson. Follow King Jewelers Jackson on social media for special savings.
If you're in business, you know just how important each call is. You don't have time for phone or internet downtime. Your business needs a reliable communications partner 24/7. You need Lifeline Voice and Data. Lifeline Voice and Data provides telephone service to emergency service facilities all over West Tennessee and beyond. For your business, we don't just provide a phone line. We provide a lifeline. Lifeline Voice and Data.
You add a little spice to your love life?
Nothing else.
Jackson's only indoor shooting range, date night at the range. Here's what you lovebirds get: a shooting lane for 2 targets, 100 rounds of ammo, eye and ear protection, and a $30 gift certificate to Texas Roadhouse. All for just $99.99.
Now that's fire.
Perfect for a gift card from the range. The range, 2310 North Highland Avenue in Jackson.
Go to therange.com.
You want a cup of coffee and shrimp dinner or anything?
It's always severe weather season in West Tennessee. When severe weather strikes, we're here for you. 96.5 FM, News Talk WTN.com.
This is not headline news. Without explanation, Justin Bieber has canceled all of his worldwide concerts. It's going to be sadly ironic if it turns out to really be because of a fever. A New Orleans woman was arrested for selling drugs out of her ice cream truck. She says that's the last time she takes career advice from a Cheech and Chong movie. Americans have $21 billion in unclaimed gift cards. They should donate that unused plastic to Madonna so she can make new cheeks. And today we celebrate the birthdays of John Bon Jovi, Chris Martin from Coldplay, and Jay Osmond. That's right, March 2nd, the real day the music died. This is not headline news.
Push your taste buds to the limit with Baskin-Robbins' new Ultimate Ice Cream Flavor Combos. They started with chicken and waffles ice cream, and now there's more. Start with a scoop of mayonnaise and cotton candy, or try the peanut butter and ranch dressing in a waffle cone, Nutella and chili sauce, or mushroom, peaches, and blue cheese. And coming this summer, pork sausage and gummy bear sundaes, frosted flakes and Gouda ice cream, hot dogs and Twinkie shakes, and even popcorn and ketchup banana splits. Baskin-Robbins. More flavors, more fun.
Larry, you have grandkids. That's real audio there. That's gone viral. That's a dad. That's the way he gets his baby to stop crying. He cranks his Harley. No kidding. Mickey, did you ever do anything like that?
No, I just got on the back of my horse and rode off.
It is 22 minutes past 3. Emmett Smith passed the hour. It's 64 degrees. It feels like it's 65 degrees on the outside. We reached 68 this afternoon, 60 overnight. That's where we drive down and we'll check the weather. We're going to be in Chester County again tonight. It's the boys' Region 6 AAA Championship game. South Gibson and Chester County tonight. And I talked with Brandon Pipkin. I know some of you are like, well, we're going to be at Freed, we're going to be at Chester County. We're going to be at Chester County High School. My name's Dan Reeves, along with Larry Newman. Hello, Newman.
Hello, Reeves.
The legendary coach Mickey Marley is in the house, and ain't no doubt.
Dan, appreciate you having me on. It's going to be a great day for me, I know.
Well, it's just good to see you, too.
Well, it's always a pleasure.
Are you talking about Trey, because Trey's here, right?
Oh, yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head.
Well, I tell you this, so I saw Lonnie Starks the other day. Trey, do you know Lonnie Starks? He's head coach for Liberty basketball now. And did you know Lonnie before the show we did a few weeks ago?
No, not really. That's the first time I've ever really sat down and talked with him.
Is he
a really good guy?
Oh, yeah.
Really good guy.
He had Liberty in the district tournament. We had a game last week, and he said, man, I really enjoyed that with Coach Marley.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
It was a good time.
Yeah, man.
Trey Smith is here. Trey just earned his first Super Bowl ring. This is your second year with the Chiefs, right?
Yep, second year.
Okay, I just talked with your dad. I said, where he wants the Super Bowl. He said, I went to the game. Trey, is it hard to get your arms around it? That's what I said to your dad. There's not that many people with 8 billion on planet Earth that's been to a Super Bowl. And now you start whittling that down to his first Super Bowl. And his son's a starting offensive lineman for the team that's just won the Super Bowl. That's not many people ever experience that. That's got to be hard to get your arms around.
Yeah, it's sort of hard to grasp sometimes, man. Just thinking about it. Pretty much the past really month. Just everything that's transpired, the road leading to it. It's really crazy. We're really blessed and fortunate to experience it.
You were at Crockett County today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you see head coach Kevin Ward?
I think I did. Yep.
You would remember. You can forget. You know Kevin Ward, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, I grew up with him. I kind of hit my stride in Little League. I hit a home run off him. There was an old man's there was a house behind left field, the old man's house, and it short hopped that house. They still talk about it over there. Well, at least I do. And so I know how you feel.
I think that house was bulldozed down.
Oh yeah, they condemned it, Trey, because that line drive I hit up to. It's Andy Reid. What's he like? We see him on camera.
Yeah.
That's all. What's it like playing for Coach Andy Reid?
Yeah, man. Playing for Coach Reid is special. You think about it, coming to the league, being able to play for a future Hall of Fame coach. My eyes, he's already a Hall of Famer easily. He's a really laid-back guy, but he always finds a way to get the best out of his players. And he has different sayings that I love. And let your personality show before every game. I'm gonna treat you to a cheeseburger. These little things he says, but he has a way of bringing the best out of us, man. But he's very interesting because he's not ever trying to hinder who we are personality-wise as players, and he understands to get the most out of his players, get our best performance, we have to let who we are out every time we step on that field. Our traits and personalities, whether it's being nasty on the field, or a dude wants to dance and score a touchdown, he's never going to stop you from doing what you do. But he's one of the best coaches I've ever been around.
Trey Smith here with us. He just won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. Do you like living in Kansas City, or do you stay there during the off season, or?
Yeah. I love Kansas City, man. The people here are great. South, being from the South, a little bit different. You walk in a restaurant, you can't order sweet tea sometimes. Some indigestion and stuff like that.
Sweet tea? What is that? Right. What do you mean?
Like sweet tea, we just have sweet tea, we just have regular hot tea.
What about the barbecue?
Barbecue's pretty good, man. There's some good spots. My spot's Jack Stack. Place called BB Lawnside as well, Q39, Original Joe's. They got some good spots out there, but I like living in Kansas City overall. It's a good place. Great people out there.
We went, John Avery Emerson. Have you met him? He's the mayor of Alamo. I'm not name dropping. He's close. It's
really, you're not name dropping. Okay.
But I consider Trey Smith a close personal friend. You think about name dropping mayor of Alamo, for crying out loud? John and I drove we went to St. Louis basically, took a left, and all the way to Kansas City to go to the College Baseball World Series in 2019. Have you ever been up to Omaha?
I haven't yet.
The College World Series is awesome, I tell you that. And there was the interstate from Kansas City up to, I think, Des Moines, and then you hang a left into Omaha. It was closed because, what river is that? The Missouri River?
Missouri River.
And it was flooded, and it flooded the interstate.
Oh.
So we'd drive through Kansas City and hang a right on kind of a state highway. I thought, this is going to be the worst thing ever. And by this time, John was getting into the stories that I really didn't want to hear about Frasier, the TV show. And it was beautiful, that drive up to Omaha. Mm-hmm. You want to go, Mickey?
Is there a point to this?
Not really. I just wondering if Trey, how you like
you want to know if you went to
Omaha,
is that right?
I want to know if you went to Omaha.
Okay, I think the answer is no. Next.
I wish you had some personality. Trey, I believe.
My wife.
You're so reserved, bashful. You're painfully bashful. But Trey, I believe that a great coach is a great coach. Mike Holmgren, who Andy Reid maybe one of his first jobs in Green Bay, he was coaching high school football. I think people's life situations, family, whatever it may be, dictates. There are other people that they want to teach high school kids, not just about football, but about life. I don't think on any level anyone knows more and motivates better than a coach like Mickey Marley. Is that about accurate? A great coach is a great coach no matter what level.
Yeah. No, it's definitely an accurate statement. Sitting this man sitting next beside me, the various life lessons I learned under him, really at USJ, they're valuable. Talking about being able to get the best out of his players, but, getting the lesson out of it, whether it's a joke or a jughead comment or how big my head is.
You know what he said, Trey? He said, okay, do you have headsets that'll fit Trey's head? I said, Mickey, don't say that in front of him.
Or you have.
Oops.
Oh, man, it's, what have you seen, when's the last time you've seen Mickey before today?
I saw you last year.
Before the season, you're getting ready to go training camp. We're going down to Dallas. So
Yeah, that's right.
You're going down to Dallas.
It's probably about this time, almost the same time last year.
Yeah.
Who was your favorite NFL team growing up?
I was a bandwagon when it came down to NFL. I didn't really like NFL football. I was more of a college guy. So I guess short answer, probably the Titans and then maybe like Steelers and Ravens.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, black and gold.
Yeah.
People look great in black and gold. It's, do you have a favorite NFL team? Might be the Titans winner.
Yeah, Chiefs. Yeah. Go Chiefs.
Yes, sir.
What am I saying? Yeah, he came in. Every time I see him, he's got Chiefs gear on. That's awesome. Trey Teague is here.
You know, you could too. They sell it on Amazon. NFL shop.
You're not gonna bully. You're not gonna bully me today. I have decided.
I apologize.
It's neat to the bond, and it's not only for your players, but you bond with those guys as well, right? And once they become adults,
Try to, especially like now. Here we're sitting grown men. This is really special for me. Yeah, of course, played Super Bowl, and that's awesome and all that. And I'm really glad for him. Talking about when we talked about this last time I was on the show. He's one of the 32 best in the world at what he does because he's right guard. There's only 32 right guards that play NFL football. Well, you cut that down to how many have played in Super Bowls. What is it? Was it the 54th Super Bowl? 57th Super Bowl? Well, there's only been 57 right guards playing a Super Bowl.
Right.
And some of those, were the same guys that played on the same teams. So he's one of the greatest ever right guards. Because 57 Super Bowls. So, I mean, that's something special. So, yeah, from the football-wise, but just from the friendship-wise and watching him grow up and growing up to be a great young man, not only he is, but like a lot of the guys that I coached have turned out to be. I stay in touch with them. I stay in touch with me and watch their families grow and their kids. And that's the part of coaching that people don't really get. I think it's about, wins and losses, and it is, because if you don't win, you ain't going to be coaching long. It's just the way it is.
Sometimes when you win, you're not.
Yeah, it's true. But that's special to me more than anything else about coaching football. It's about the people and the kids that I coach. As long, I'll be 65. Well, middle of this month, when he's 65, he'll still be a kid to me.
Yeah. It's the way it is. Trey, what's your age now?
23.
23?
Yeah.
Jeez, I thought. Wait, I met Trey when he was a freshman, so it seems like you should be 30. Yeah, I did it. Now, that's from your high school coach's perspective. From yours, what does this relationship mean? Now that have you been sized yet for the Super Bowl ring?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's an experience. Just walking towards the day of the parade on a Wednesday, take it so serious in Arrowhead, have a reception for the family, and then I think it sort of sunk in. My sister's like, "Hey, have you gotten sized for the ring yet?" I'm like, "No, I haven't." So just walking there, you try all the different various sizes and stuff. It's sort of surreal to think about, you in your own ring.
Who's making those for King Jewelers? If you hadn't pictured Grover's terrific.
Yeah.
He's got blue eyes, 40 some odd years his experience as a certified jeweler. And your dad, Mr. Smith, is just that's a wonderful human being, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
So the influence of your dad and Coach Marley, the people, it's Artis Hicks.
Yeah.
You were able to not let him negatively influence you. That's amazing. Artis is a lot of fun, and he's. What was it, Coach, that you first noticed? And Trey, I got to tell you this, and I was going to tell you in private, but just in case I don't get to, he wanted to put you at kicker, and I said, no, put him in offensive line. He's going to have you punting and kicking. I said, no.
It's a good move there, Dan. I appreciate you letting us know that ahead of time. It's really good.
For a big guy like you, defense. I loved watching you play defense more than anything. I called at every one of your high school games, and on offense, it was fun to watch as well. You'd get flagged. Mickey and I have talked about this for a completely legal play. You drove a guy downfield like 30 yards and then pancaked him. It looked so bad. They said, we got to throw a flag. It looks so bad. I mean, it's true, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Actually, I saw Coach Hargrave, Jim Hargrave today, and we were just reminiscing a little bit. He was laughing about that same exact thing. Then we went to BGA one time. It was like my senior year or junior year. And,
Junior
year.
This is one of my favorite games ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was just giving him the business, basically. Dunked the kid. Had a flag thrown. I was upset about it. And Coach Hargrave was like, what did he do? And the guy's just like, he's playing too rough. Come on, man. What am I doing wrong? But no, that was one of the funny things. But yeah, it happens sometimes, man. It's almost like an unfair playing field sometimes for just some guys. But, you know, that's part of it. Coach Marlon always told me, you know, they signed up for it. No one's your friend on the field when you get out there. Now, in practice, those are buddies, but when you're on the game field, no one's your friend. You know, let it out. So.
Yeah, and folks, you would have to see that when you coach that's a true story. And I believe he said you're playing too rough.
It's true, yeah. It happened because I was at the game too. It happened. And I would tell him, you know, it's, you know, and as he just said, in practice was one thing, game time was another thing.
Oh yeah, but I loved watching you play defense. What do you prefer if you could choose? Would you play offense or defense?
I'm forever a lineman. The mentality, the type of human being it takes to play the position. I fit in that category. Now, a lot of times it's easier to look at a D lineman and be like, man, your job's easy, man. You got a 2 gap where you got to pass, rush the passer. But for me, man, O-line's where it's at. Now, when it was like high school, middle school, if I could have been a sole D lineman, especially in middle school, we got rough for them.
Well, I got to tell you, did you ever put training on defense just for your own entertainment?
Yeah.
Well, when I was
just for your own entertainment.
My own entertainment.
Yeah, because, man, Larry, you should have seen it,
This
man.
wasn't like Gladiator. Do you want to be entertained?
Yeah. Boy, I did try calling the plays. I was like, please, put him. I was texting him during the game. Put him on defense.
He was on defense to stop their entertainment. That's why we put him there.
Oh, man. And I would tell people, no, he's such a nice person, but when you go between those lines, it's a different mindset, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
And the difference from when you went from high school to college, University of Tennessee, and then that jump from college, the SEC, the highest level in college football, to the NFL. What's the greater leap as far as the type of competition?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing I've seen since transitioning out of college to NFL is like the margin of error is so small. Collegiate, especially high school sports, you can be so gifted, you can be fast enough, strong enough to get away with certain things, whereas in the league, you're playing against a guy who has been there for 8 years, has 3 kids, and has to feed his family. So he's studying every movement, every tendency, and is waiting for you to do certain things. And, like I said, the margin of error, a step, this small could be the difference between winning and losing the block. So really just being very on point with everything, being extremely accurate, precise with what you do, for many various situations.
Trey, most fans will watch the ball, on TV. Football was just tailor-made for TV, and so it's pretty obvious to people that watch football on a regular basis, the difference in defining an open receiver in the NFL versus college football. The windows are so small.
Yep.
And I guess you could take that, if you don't watch the offensive line and the way the game is played there, it's very similar to what's defined as an open receiver in the NFL versus college. Would you say that would be better?
Yeah. Pretty close to that.
Yeah. It's, what do you think, Coach?
I think that you're spot on, man. That's a great analysis.
I thought you would agree. You read it just like I wrote it.
Thank you. Turn the page, would you?
Hey, Coach, you got to tell them, man. where the real football was played back in the day. I remember you used to tell me earlier on that like the players everyone used to watch in America used to be the linemen.
Linemen. Hey, yeah, 7-on-7 is great, but when you get out there in real football, last time I looked, it's 11-on-11. And those linemen are what win and lose every single time. Every time. You don't have good linemen, and you're sunk.
It's
you gotta have
it's in the trenches, as they say.
Yep.
I tell you, Trey, I get caught up doing a play-by-play and not looking at the ball. And Trey Smith he's burying he's taking that defensive tackle down to, and they're like, "What about the ball?" Like there's a game within a game. It really is. And
I got something. The next time you watch football, everything starts from the inside out anyway. You can peripheral vision at center. Watch the guards. That's going to take you to the ball every time, or 99% of the time. I mean, hi-hat most of the time, passes, all that kind of good stuff right there. But especially in high school football, you'll be taken to the ball 90% of the time.
Watch that guard. Yeah.
Well, not just a guard, the inside, the inside guards at center. It'll do it.
Yep. Okay. Now, let's flip the script just a little bit here. Tracy, anything you want to ask Coach Marley or say to Coach Marley? And now, let's stop short of waterboarding you, but is there anything you're... if you were interviewing Coach Marley, or you have a question for Coach Marley, you want to think about it a bit? And Coach, I want you to think about that too. If you were interviewing, he's a Super Bowl champion. His ring's underway, and he's only 23 years old. Pretty remarkable, isn't it? That's remarkable.
It is.
Yeah. I can tell you, very proud of you. I've known you since you were a kid, and you're a pleasure. Got a great personality, and it's fun to watch you achieve. And I've never rooted for the Chiefs in my life, but I did this year, of course, it was last year. Unless you play the Steelers, and it stops there.
We got you 2 times last year.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Ended Roethlisberger's career. What about Smith-Schuster? Is he a pretty cool guy?
No, Schuster's amazing, man. Awesome.
Sorry. I spoke over him. That's why he cut that look at me. I know, so I got to shut it down.
I'm just asking Trey. I mean, is that not the I don't know, quintessential? That is a word, isn't it?
Will you reach for that
bandwagon fan? Right. Is that not the quintessential bandwagon fan right there?
What do you mean? What do you?
Well, you jumping on his bandwagon?
No, he's a close personal friend of mine. I told him that friendship stops when the Steelers are on the field.
I must have misunderstood. I thought you said, way to go, Trey. But I'm all over you now. Hey, way to go, buddy. Hey, I'm lathering you up right here. I'm on the radio. Man, everything is awesome. Oh, by the way, I do like the Steelers.
Why are you trying to come between Trey and I? Really?
Well, I'm sitting between you.
Literally, he's coming between us. I got a real thrill. I grew up in Milan as a Steeler fan because back in those days, there was... NBC showed the Steelers every Sunday, and CBS the Cowboys. So a lot of Steelers and Cowboys fans around here. You probably noticed that. So I got the opportunity to MC the Legends of the Pittsburgh Steelers cruise. Did you know this? Because I'll tell anyone with an earshot.
Yeah, you told me 12 times.
Today?
It's great every time, so tell it to me.
No, don't. What I'm telling you, Trey, is we had to start the Legend of the Chiefs tour. Me and you.
Yeah.
And then, can you drive a boat? No, we'll do.
Yeah, I can captain one of those big ships. No problem.
And so it was Mel Blount, Hall of Famer of the Steelers. He was so good they changed the rules. He was 6'4" cornerback in the 70s. Donnie Shell was going to be inducted. This was 2020, February of 2020, just before COVID. And in fact, I called my doctor, Peter Gardner. I said, look, should I go on this cruise or not? He said, because of COVID. And that cruise ship was setting off the coast of California. Remember that? They wouldn't let him off the cruise ship.
And he said, what's his name? A defensive lineman is so good. Hayward, Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
What a nice guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he said, isn't Cam Hayward on that trip? I said, yes. He said, look, not to belittle what you do, but I think the Steelers have about $100 million invested in him. If they're going to let him go, you go ahead. You can. And I said, I bet you that's what the Steelers told him about that I was going, so you should be okay. But he's the nicest guy. Do you know him?
Yeah, I've met him a couple times.
Also on that trip was, I guess, a teammate of yours, Cam Sutton.
Yeah.
Really nice guy. Mel Blount and I hit it off, man, big time. In fact, I spent a lot of time with Mel. Rod Woodson was on that trip. I get home and I have some of my friends that are Steeler fans. Said, man, did you get any phone numbers? It's like, yeah. Said, why don't you call him up? I was like, dude, I'm not gonna call him. I just got home to bother him about that time. Mel Blount calls me.
Wow.
And I said, look, I just get home and they already bothered me. But he's such a nice man. He's got a ranch, I think, out in Oklahoma, and he loves horses. Listen to this, Mick. He asked me if I rode horses. I said, no, but I'll start if you want me to. And he said he was coming. I told him I got involved with Rainbow Rainbow Riding Academy. They use horses to treat kids with like Down syndrome, those sorts of things. And to see that in action, and those kids, that is their life. They look so. They just mark the calendar for when they're going to be up there with those horses. And I was telling Mel about that. He said, listen, I'm going to be in Kentucky this summer. I want to come down and go out there and see those kids. And that's the type of guy Mel Blount is, just a wonderful person. And spent a week with him, and man, people pay big time money to be close to those guys, the superstars. What's it like for you, and how's your life changed being in the NFL, being a starter, and have you noticed any difference since you won a Super Bowl?
Yeah. Life's good, man. I can't really complain about anything. Getting into the league was something altogether. Being able to come home last year was really cool. Been recognized ever since like Tennessee days, but I will say when you win the Super Bowl, there's a huge difference. Being with an organization like the Chiefs, having a lot of teammates who have won it. Little short story to like divert a little bit, but in 2019, through a program called University of Tennessee, I was able to watch the Chiefs win the Super Bowl in Miami. So like being able to witness it as a civilian, as a fan from the outside, and then go through with it, I mean, it's pretty extraordinary. Like when you win it, there's a difference in how you're treated, and there's a difference in sort of like the weight your name carries at times as well. So like going through Kansas City, obviously, extremely low. Like the first night we got back home, my dad and family went out to eat. No questions asked, our food paid for it. And just being able to come back to Jackson, home we've always been, and you just hear people like muttering, uttering your name at times. It's pretty sweet, but it's nothing taken for granted. It's something that I earned. But it's special coming back to the community you're from and being able to feel the impact of it. So for me, the big thing I want to do is just spread the love, just help other people out, with the position and platform I
have. Rocky Bleier, you heard of that name?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
No.
Okay, so Rocky Bleier was starting running back for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 4 Super Bowl rings. He wasn't that athletic, wasn't that big, but he had a lot of heart, and he lost half of his foot, a portion of it, in Vietnam. And Art Rooney, the late Art Rooney, that bought the Steelers, did you know this, Mickey, with his winnings from a day trip to the horse track, for like $3,000 he bought the Steelers. They've got to be worth around $10,000 a day or so. But he did not want to give up on Rocky. And Rocky was a starting running back on 4 Super Bowl champions. He comes to town, he's a great speaker, and he comes to town with the Boy Scouts. They call me and said, hey, we know you're a Steeler fan. We'll bring Rocky by here about 10 minutes. I said, sure. And so Rocky walks in, and I start in with him on the air. And 10 minutes later, the guy kind of, hey, Rock, we need to go. And he said, hey, Dan, what time's this show over? I said, 1 o'clock. He said, I'll be ready to go at 1 o'clock. And we talked all till 1 o'clock. He didn't leave at 1 o'clock. Show's over. He said, you want me to cut you a liner or two? I said, are you kidding me? Come on. And then he said, are you coming to the dinner tonight? And I was like, sure. And he said, look, I'll bring my 4 Super Bowl rings. We'll take photos. So I get there, and a friend of mine was with me. He said, hey, there's Rocky. We're going to do the photos. He was sitting at his table having dinner. I said, I don't want to interrupt him, man. He's having dinner. And I hear somebody say, hey, Dan. Look up, and Rocky's waving me over. And we go over to the table. He said, you don't want to do the photo with the Super Bowl rings? I said, yeah, I didn't want to bother your dinner. He said, no. And he pushed back, took them out of his pocket, put them on my fingers, and took some photos. Gets on stage, said, I spent the day with the great Steeler fan, Dan Reeves. He went out of his way. He knew I was going to meet him one time, and that means a lot. He may not have cared about me at all, but he acted like he did.
Yeah.
So that's the type of impact that has. And I try to do the same thing. I spend time with Mickey, for example.
Yeah, you've really, upped my game and made me feel special. Thank you.
but that's right. You recognizing something like that at 23 years old is pretty special, isn't it? And Mickey, wouldn't you say?
That's very special, man. That just is a testament to the type of person that Trey is. And not only that, is family upbringing, and which is most important.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom line, and I've said this many times, and I will say this until the day that I'm no longer with us. I have 3 grandsons that are 16 and 14 and 10 now. From the time that you saw them, they've grown a little bit. And I'm not talking about athletics here now. I'm talking about people, being a human being. If my grandsons grow up to be the type of man that Trey Smith has grown up to be, I will be a happy granddad. I'm going to tell you that. This man sitting right next to me now, I've seen him grow up from a young boy to a boy to a man. I've seen that. I've witnessed that. And it's been something special to me, and he's done an outstanding job of it, and there's no doubt he's going to continue to do an outstanding job of it. I'm proud of him for that. I'm proud of it.
That's high honor. Mickey, do you want to say anything about me and Larry?
It's nice knowing you guys. We can work on it.
It's good to be able to enjoy when your relationship changes with your high school head coach, and now you're a young man, and Mickey's a little bit not as young as you, and how that relationship. Now you can enjoy life together, and that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
What do you think about Mickey? How does he look in red and gold?
I think he did us pretty good, man. Walked in, I was a little shocked. I was like, got the cheese on, but pretty good.
Would you think I stole it or something? I was shocked.
He bought it for me. Look, I'm going to tell you, I told him I'm going to say this. He was wearing Eagles gear 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah, sure.
No, it's there's no doubt who he's rooting for. So what's it like, Trey, or can you talk about, because you went through some health issues, and I remember saying on the show, because at least on the outside, it looked like it may be in question for a while whether you continue your football career. And I said over there, I said, man, that would have to be somewhat like losing a winning lottery ticket. But if anyone can adjust and handle this at that age, it's Trey Smith. And I meant that. And what was that like? And then to watch your draft stock, I'm sure you're aware that it was going to drop, and to watch it on draft day.
Yeah. Going back to health issue stuff, like diagnosis of blood clots coming off a really good freshman year. For me, it was just like, man, I didn't know what was going on with my body. I couldn't breathe, couldn't do a sit-up, couldn't do a weight, and I was just in the prime of my life, like 2 weeks prior. So you get the diagnosis, didn't really know what it meant, the full severity, what it was. Come find out how close you are to dying. That's a pretty sobering fact. Your time, maybe like 19 years old. I don't know how old. Probably 19. You don't think about that, but it's sort of I think you gotta make terms with it, contemplate. For me, I knew I still wanted to play football, so it was a matter of what do I need to do to get back on the field. So in 2018, able to get back. About later, almost into the season, sort of had the same issues, and they thought I had blood clots again. But luckily, really good medical treatment, advice that we got, analysis. They found out it wasn't blood clots again, something I had at one time. I was having asthma and different other things like that. But during that time, it was very hard because one, you're going to various doctors, you're getting your blood drawn, you're getting prodded all the time. You're having people tell you you're crazy for trying to play anymore. Your doctor discouraging you from playing. And for me, it was like I had a vision that I understood that, this happened, but I'm going to keep going because that's all I know how to do. The ignorance is just, all I know how to do is go forward. No matter what comes my way, I'm going to keep pushing. When I was 15 in high school, I lost my mom. And that inspired me so much just to pretty much push and keep going for her, just be the man she wanted me to be. And for me, it's like, the only thing I know how to do is just work. Sitting back in this guy, in middle school, bringing up shed runs. I suck at shed runs. My dad was still in there, but I remember.
I was an announcer, and he tried to get me to do it.
I remember, this is when I was early, but early on, maybe in middle school, when I first started working out in high school, we did running on the track, and my dad I always saw him sit in his car and watch us do anything outside. And he asked me once, I was like, you always been last, you run.
I'm alive.
But it's like those small things, it's just like, I sucked when I first got there. I could barely get over bags, but I wanted to quit. My mom wouldn't let me quit. So,
oh boy, I guess we all go through that.
Everyone thinks about quitting at some point. And that's the deciding factor. Who's going to keep going? That's the outlier.
And how did your mom handle it?
Well, he doesn't know this too. A lot of people know this, but I remember it was early on. Once again, back in middle school, when I was first working in high school, like almost crying. I don't want to go back. I don't want to work out football team.
Summer camp is just awful, isn't it?
Yeah, no. But this is a middle schooler doing it with upper school guys, so it's like it's a different level.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. No. It's different. So like for me, it was just a matter of, okay, we're really working out. And a young kid, I wasn't involved physically, wasn't tuned in, athletically coordinated enough at the time. But like his vision for me, being able to stick with it. So like talking like my mom, sitting in the car on Thursday, saying, I don't want to do this hard. My dad sees me struggle running. At the time, I was growing at such a accelerated rate. My knees were hurt at times too. So it's like, you keep thinking about, once again, the ignorance of keep pushing, you keep working. So it's a thing of putting your head down and going every day. So over time, you get the yield results you're looking for. So like, whenever I have medical diagnoses, different things going on, I've had so many trials and different things. At that point, all I know how to do is keep my head down and keep working. So ultimately, for me, I put my faith in God number one, and understood that one, He's blessed me with the ability and the talent to do this. It's my turn to uphold the bargain that He made with me. I have to put in the work to make it happen, come to fruition.
Trey Smith just won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. He played his high school football at USJ. Where did you play middle school? USJ.
Yep.
Okay. Mickey Marley introduced me to Trey and his parents. So I guess you were 14 years old. That's I guess that's a freshman, right? 14?
Yep.
And I started, Mickey asked if I'd help work with him. I said, sure.
Said, no, please don't. Thank you.
I started right in on him. I said, listen, Mickey, I know that you got to coach the football team, but can we get some air conditioning in this press box? Because it's looking right into the sun. Of course, Artis Hicks is his mansion in the background. Artis, I'm kidding, no. But it's, and he never did.
You had to suck it up, Dan. Kids had to, you had to too.
But you mentioned that game, but it was BGA.
Yep.
7 starters out. Was that the number, Mickey? I think it was around 7 starters were out.
There were a lot of guys.
So you can take that and times 2 for a single A school because kids play both ways. and number one unbeaten BGA. And we were there, and I was like, I don't know, I just got a feeling, because I was talking with Coach before the game, and he was so focused, but he always is. And but I thought that was one of the effort from the team, the game plan, just the heart. That was one of my favorite games I've ever called. And you were in that game. Now you played in the Super Bowl. I don't know. I hear some professional athletes say, you can't beat the days of high school. What do you say to that?
I think they're spot on. Obviously, this was my prime days. Won Super Bowl. Just guys that probably talking that old, I'm sick of communication with. But the bond you have in high school is just so different. Playing with guys you grew up with, guys you're best friends with. The memories you create, man, they're priceless.
That was a close-knit team, too, wasn't it, Coach and Trey?
Yep, absolutely.
Yep, sure was.
Trey Smith just won a Super Bowl with the Kansas City Chiefs. Mickey Marley, the legendary Coach Mickey Marley. Larry Newman. Oh, you got a question you want to ask Trey?
Well, I was going to ask him what was the difference in the way you felt after a game and the way you felt the next morning?
Oh.
That's
Get the real stuff. I put it like this. In college, you'd be probably like sore for a day, and you keep pushing. But in the NFL, there's serious damage. There are times where, when the effects wear off and the adrenaline stops pumping, you're sitting there laying down like, what am I supposed to do? That's part of the game, at the end of the day, you got to take care of your body, but there's a tremendous difference. It's your size, and you're going against grown men.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to hit your car crash. So
Trey, what you're saying is you're never not sore.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, yeah. It's a big difference.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yep. When playing out in front of, Tennessee, right around 100,000 fans there in Neyland Stadium. And Kansas City is known as maybe the loudest stadium in the NFL. It's quite a backdrop. I've been, of course, to Kansas City, and there's a Royal Stadium sitting there, and then there's Arrowhead Stadium. That environment at Kansas City versus Tennessee, because it kind of reminds me of a college football crowd. Would that be about accurate?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's what makes Arrowhead special is the kingdom, man. Fan base that Chiefs have rabid. Sitting out camping the gates, you'll have a line, just people with smokers in the back of the cars waiting to get in. There's no other environment that I played in that really comes close.
Trey Smith is here. Mickey Marley is here. There's one. Oh, okay. I want to ask you this. First half, Philadelphia looked fantastic. You were there, and what was it like in the locker room at halftime? Because there was a little extra to that game. I think most people are aware of, and I know you were, and your teammates, with Andy Reid being fired at Philadelphia, even with all the success he had there. Well, those components, how'd they factor in? Did Coach Reid said, don't worry about me. Look, we got to win a football game. And what happened in the locker room at halftime as far as it's a Super Bowl, man?
Yeah, without a doubt. Coach Reid's never one to let outside agendas or narrative come into distract us from our ultimate goal. So he never said it, but as players, we all knew that fact, and we wanted to win it for him. Going to the game, initially, especially in the first half, it was a poor reflection of who we were as a football team and what we're capable of performing like. But then you also have to sit back and understand they were dominating the time of possession, control of the ball. So there's only so much we could do. Coming into the half, obviously, Pat comes up limping a little bit. You never want to see that, not in a crucial moment like this. And once again, as an O-line, we took it upon ourselves really to just keep it protected, keep it clean. But I think the defining moment for me in that Super Bowl thing that just snapped and got it back going is the halftime speech Pat and Travis gave us. Just the energy in which they were speaking, the importance of the moment, and just understanding that, they're giving their all on the field right now. We have to come back. We have to help them out. And that's what, I feel like for me, that's what it's on for me. And ultimately, the mentality I took was, do your job at a high level, just do the best that you do, everything's going to fall in place. You have to be Superman, you have to be Tarzan out there, just do what you do best, and that's your job. And I think we all took on that mentality, saw the second half.
Oh, it was fantastic. So now the reality sets in there. I mean, the game went right down to the wires. You know, one of the when you say coaches watching it. Now we were biased because of Trey, but I think generally speaking, from a fan's standpoint, that was a very entertaining football game.
Yes, no doubt.
And that don't happen every Super Bowl, right?
No, it doesn't. But for just sitting watching the game as a casual fan, hey, if you didn't like that game, you just don't like football.
Right. Yeah. So, did you have fun playing in that game?
Yeah. Most definitely. Start to finish. I didn't want to make the moment too big. For me, I was just thinking about just playing high school ball or something. I've been doing this since I was in 5th and 6th grade. I can't make it any bigger of a moment than what it really is when it comes down to it. Put that ball down and knock it and see what happens. So, for me, it was just the overall fact that whenever everything was over, the confetti was flowing, I was able to see my family. That's when it's like, you know what? That's what it's all about right there.
Oh, man, yeah. Relationships, man, that's what life is all about, isn't it? Yep. I used to do that. We played, I'd tell myself, in co-ed softball, we'd be in a tournament. I said, this is just a game. I mean, it's not let that moment be too big. You know what I'm saying, Mick? I carried the team too. I don't mind telling you.
Yeah, I would see how co-ed softball and the Super Bowl would have a lot in common there with intensity.
Don't belittle. Those girls are really tough.
I was really trying to get you going there, man.
I would either go yard or single off the wall. I'm not going to stretch it out because if you slide
in the back wall or which one?
That only ain't play because you threw like a girl.
That may be misogynistic, Larry. We had to talk about that. But
what does that mean?
I just heard the adults talking about that around the water cooler. I don't know. It sounded good to me. I'm waiting to use that.
Words we don't know. Come on.
Larry, would you mind reaching for that dictionary? We'll find out real quick.
Second shelf.
Yeah, so Andy Reid he looks like a nice guy. So he is. Yeah, that's good. And what? Because some people think that about Mickey Martin. I'm like, no, Mickey's fantastic. Did you think of a question you wanted to ask Trey?
No, I was just having a good time, Dan. I'm sorry for that. I apologize for laughing and having a good time. Go ahead and ask your question.
Did you ever think when you were playing that Coach Marley had such a great sense of humor?
The answer is no.
I didn't either. It's so training camp in the NFL. Where does I don't know where the Chiefs have training camp.
Yeah, we have a small place called St. Joe's. It's about an hour from Kansas City. We played Missouri Western Community College, so it's a grind, man. St. Joe's is different.
And it gets hot out there, man.
It's super humid. And it's even more humid than regular Kansas City weather out there. But we stay in dorm rooms. It's almost like going back to college, You're in the cafeteria, you're eating together. We're all riding like golf carts, small vehicles to the practice facility, field, mandatory meals. So it really brings you back down to the roots before the season started.
And tomorrow's going to be a big day for you. A trade day. You know about that, Larry? A trade day.
I sure do.
You're going to
have an announcement about that.
Okay, go right ahead.
Tomorrow it's at 4 o'clock and it was going to be at City Hall. But they changed it. They moved it to the Carl Perkins Center. So.
Did someone get a hold of you and let you know that?
Hey, the boss lady over there, she's the one who keeps you in line.
Who's this?
That's my sister, actually.
That's it? Okay, I've seen her in a while.
Yeah.
Awesome. Where is she at now?
She's in New York.
No, I know she's out there, Mickey. I mean, what is she?
Just pointing so you know.
Hey, he's got the same traits I do. Mr. Obvious.
Water is wet, the sky is blue. Larry Newman is here. The only reason I mentioned it is so that Larry knows where he's at. Larry, you're here. It's okay. And what does she do now? You better invite her in.
Ashley, you want to do that?
All right, Larry, beat it, would you? I tell you what, we'll take a break and we'll get you in here. You look lovely.
Oh, thank you. I feel like I look a mess. I literally just took off a plane, but
you look fantastic.
I didn't be seeing people today.
You look fantastic. Here we go. We're going to take a timeout. Trey Smith is here, Super Bowl champion and Great American, the Kansas City Chief. And by the way, that rookie contract runs for 3 years?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yep. Do you have an agent? Because, hey, listen, I can work a deal. I tell you, we'll talk about it off there, but do you know who Elvis Presley was? Did you ever hear of Colonel Tom Parker?
Yeah.
I think I could work a deal like that. Mickey, you want in on? The Colonel Tom Parker Elvis deal.
Yeah.
He's Trey's too smart, for that.
Yeah, you don't want him taking 50% of your money, Trey, so off the bat.
Yeah.
Offensive linemen typically are the smartest people on the field.
Well, they have to be.
How thick's your playbook now?
It is, but it's not. The system in which it operates really isn't too crazy. You know what I mean? Once you get the general flow and stuff, there's only so many ways you can run zone, so many ways you can run a gap scheme as well. But when I first got it was a lot to digest, though. It was a ton.
Eric Bieniemy?
Yeah.
Is now, I don't know, I've been so busy. Is he still in Kansas City? I know Andy Reid, about a class Zach said, hey, look, this guy, he endorsed him basically.
Absolutely. No, Coach Bieniemy is actually with the Commanders now.
Is that where he went?
Yeah.
His head coach?
Offensive coordinator.
You know, I really think that guy is on his way to be a head coach.
Yeah, he deserves the opportunity.
He's, it's Patrick Mahomes. It's incredible. His talent, but talent just talent alone doesn't get it done. Ryan Leaf, stronger arm than Peyton Manning. Had a lot more athletic ability, really. But you got to put in that work. That's the real difference, isn't it?
Absolutely. Comes down to it.
I tell Larry that every day. He ain't getting it. He's not picking up what I'm laying down, Coach.
There was a lot of silence when you said that.
That's the problem, see?
Are you expecting us to say something or what? This is a talk show. I forgot. Okay.
That's right. It's great to have you here, and you're a lot of fun. Great personality. That same laugh as you always have. It's just got with a Super Bowl ring. It's got a little more. People laugh along with you, even when your jokes are not funny. Larry, I'll explain it to you later. Put over your head. Don't worry about it. We'll be right back here. Trey Smith and his sister will join us when we return here on the Dan Reeves Show. It's 13 minutes past 4, and it's 63 degrees in Jackson. We'll also get a look at the weather. Larry's checking the Doppler right now. And when we return, we'll get you the latest on the weather conditions because another round is headed this way, isn't it, Larry?
Yes, it is.
So Larry will check that out for you when we return here on the program. Coach, just a minute. Those mics are hot, okay? We're going to go to a break, and then you can go ahead and talk.
Sorry, Dan.
I mean that with all due respect.
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, man. The narrator called, and I thought he was going to come down here. He was in a meeting. He was wanting to see you. I noticed he didn't come, but it was just you a few weeks ago. But
I guess that was him I was trying to call back when you interrupted me. Sorry.
Oh, is that right? I apologize, Coach. We'll be right back. Stay right there. Trey Smith is in the studio, the Super Bowl champion, and the legendary Mickey Marley is here as well. He was Mickey introduced me to Trey when Trey was a freshman at USJ, and Mickey coached him 3 years at USJ. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
This is WBFG 96.5 FM, 96.5 FM, Parker's Crossroads, Jackson.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov Had a brief discussion at a top meeting of a group of 20 nations in New Delhi.
In the meeting, Blinken apparently asserted America's support for Ukraine was unwavering, dispelling any doubts the Russians may have had on the matter. In a recorded message to the UN's Human Rights Council, Blinken said Russia should be held accountable for its human rights abuses in Ukraine.
Holding ourselves to the same standards as we do every other government is particularly important at a time when human rights around the world are under assault, perhaps nowhere more than in Russia's brutal war on Ukraine.
The last time Blinken and Lavrov met in person was in Geneva, over a year earlier, just before Russia's invasion. I'm Karen Chamas.
Also at townhall.com, Californians, they're trying to dig out of the snow following 2 winter storms. Correspondent Donna Warder has more.
Crews have been plowing the snow in San Bernardino County, but it could take more than a week to reach some areas. Residents are dealing with as much as 7 feet of snow. Officer D.C. Williams with the California Highway Patrol told KABC that Interstate 5 in the Tejon Pass near Los Angeles had to be shut down for the second time in less than a week.
The 10 years I've been up here, I don't think we've closed it like this back to back.
Emergency crews have been shuttling food and medicine to mountain communities that have been left stranded. I'm Donald Warner.
At his 16th parole hearing, a California panel has denied parole for Robert F. Kennedy assassin Sirhan Sirhan. Sirhan's lawyer says the parole board decided the 78-year-old prisoner still lacks insight into what caused him to shoot the senator.
Nobody ever heard of him.
On Wall Street, the Dow finishing up 327 points, the NASDAQ up 83. More at townhall.com.
Just a great kid.
Relief Factor, pain relief that's natural, pain relief that works, and pain relief that attacks the source of the pain. That's the experience of tens of thousands of Americans who are taking Relief Factor right now. See their incredible video endorsements at relieffactor.com and then order your 3-week quick starter pack for just $19.95. That's less than $1 a day. Find out if it can work for you like it works for me by ordering your 3-week quick starter pack today. Relieffactor.com, relieffactor.com. The next success story.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? With Angie, you can cross it off your list before this ad is over. Just tell us what you need. Indoor or outdoor, repair or redesign. And we handle the rest, sending a top pro to get it done. You don't have to lift a finger, except to tap the screen or click the mouse. Plus, Angie is free to use. So bring us your next home project, and we'll bring it home. Download the app or go to Angie.com. That's ANGI.com to get started.
The Justice Department has determined that Donald Trump can be sued over the January 6th riot. Greg Clugston with that report.
DOJ lawyers say that even though a president enjoys broad legal latitude to communicate to the public, Donald Trump can be held liable in court for the riot at the U.S. Capitol. At the same time, the Justice Department cautioned that the court must not saddle a president with meritless lawsuits. 2 Capitol police officers and 11 Democratic House members have filed conspiracy lawsuits against the former president. Trump's lawyers have argued that he is protected by absolute immunity. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Georgia defensive tackle Jalen Carter returning to the NFL scouting combine after turning himself into Athens police on Wednesday night, posting a combined bond of $4,000 on charges of reckless driving and racing in relation to a fatal crash that killed a teammate at Team Stafford. Breaking news at townhall.com. SpaceX launching 4 astronauts to the International Space Station for NASA. The crew includes the first person from the Arab world going up for a month-long stay. The Falcon rocket bolted from Florida's Kennedy Space Center earlier today. A notorious assassin will remain behind bars.
The California panel has denied parole for Robert F. Kennedy assassin Sirhan Sirhan. Sirhan's lawyer Angela Berry says the parole board decided the 78-year-old prisoner still lacks insight into what caused him to shoot the senator and presidential candidate in 1968. Berry says she believes Sirhan has shown that awareness, however, and that his psychiatrists have said for decades that he's unlikely to reoffend. 2 years ago, a different California parole board had voted to release Sirhan. Governor Gavin Newsom rejected the decision. Keith Peters reported.
More of these stories at townhall.com. I'm John.
News Talk West Tennessee includes NewsTalk965.com and News Talk 96.5 FM, covering local news, sports, and and weather on an extensive network of platforms, including radio, social media streaming, digital TV, live stream, podcasts, all on your devices. Our local and live weekday lineup includes Daybreak with Greg Wood and G-Unit, Walker Talks with Chuck Walker and Julie Holt, The Dan Reeves Show with Gina Langley and Larry Newman, Dave Ramsey, Jackson-Madison County Schools Game of the Week, UT Ball Sports, and the Memphis Grizzlies. Local, live, News Talk West Tennessee and NewsTalk965.com. Hear it first on News Talk 96.5 FM. We might be talking about you. Welcome to Hampton Inn & Suites of Jackson. Make yourself at home in any of the 83 rooms or suites. Hampton Inn & Suites exit 83 at I-40 is minutes away from all Jackson destinations like the West Tennessee Healthcare Sportsplex, Casey Jones Village, Jackson-Madison County General Hospital, and many industrial complexes. Enjoy free Wi-Fi, free parking, and free hot breakfast. Also a 24-hour fitness and business center. Welcome to West Tennessee. Make your reservations now by calling direct at 731-427-6100 or visit Hampton.com.
Hi, I'm Terica Smith, a local attorney and proud JMCSS graduate. I'm also a JMCSS parent. We chose Jackson-Madison County Schools for educational options that are innovative and challenging. Whether it's the Academic Academy at Northeast or early college and career opportunities at JCM Early College High, JMCSS offers classes and programs that will prepare my son for college and beyond. Plus, JMCSS is a level 5 district and tuition free. It just makes sense.
Hi, I'm Greg Hammond, Chief of Public Information for the Jackson-Madison County School System. With an increased focus in the fine arts, athletics, workforce development, and early career opportunities for students, there's never been a better time to choose us. Tuition-free, Jackson-Madison County Schools. Visit jmcss.org today to schedule a tour or call 731-345-7011.
When the game goes into overtime.
There it is, yeah.
The game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Pick up Bud Light at your local convenience store today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Central Distributors, Jackson.
Special offer by using discount code KLG.
All like the personal professional development resources that the NFL has available. And then I also do a lot of
I'm Ted Golka. Now let's
Welcome
get back to the show
Hampton Inn
with Bob
Suites of
Press.
Jackson. Make yourself at home in any of the 83 rooms or suites. Hampton Inn & Suites exit 83 at I-40 is minutes away from all Jackson destinations like the West Tennessee Healthcare Sportsplex, Casey Jones Village, Jackson-Madison County General Hospital, and many industrial complexes. Enjoy.
Side, we say the officer was chasing an armed suspect.
Money over to Africa and things like that. You hear of these warlords who take the goods and keep it from the people and, use it themselves or, sell it back at an inflated rate. It's awful what happens.
Who knows? They may need to get some food and they said, well, here's a missile for some food.
Yeah.
I mean, could that have happened? Well, sure.
I don't know. This comes in. It says, a lot of the weapons we sent to Iraq somehow magically landed in the hands of ISIS and Muslim extremist organizations in the Middle East.
You can say the same thing about the stuff we sent to the Mujahideen in the early 80s, too.
Right. But we were rolling with them then, right? Because they were trying to get Russia out of there.
Yeah, I mean, we were
our homies, right?
Yeah,
we were friends.
We're real fluid about who our buddies are.
Well, you got to, it's been, it's been people I know's experience in the past. You got to jump in, jump out of a relationship.
You never know. I'm just saying.
It goes on to say, I believe we are sending I can't say that word, a buttload of weapons, I think is the scientific term, over there to Ukraine. Yet soldiers on the front in Bakhmut are running out of ammo. Something doesn't add up. And then there's another link sent to me. This one's on Business Insider. So evidently this is getting some push, and I've just missed on it. It says the U.S. is sending billions of dollars worth of weapons to Ukraine. Who knows where they'll end up being used?
I have read where they're having a hard time getting the ammo to the front line, and that makes sense because Russia's blowing up bridges and doing things you do in war. I mean, if you're going to be, remember those games you'd play as a kid, Risk or something, you'd have to take out the supply chain and all that.
Yeah. So is the answer to send more? If this is happening?
I mean, I think we've sent a lot. That's for Congress to decide, but
I don't know. There's people on the ground that know. Scott Bumpus isn't one of those people.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't know that we're going to get those ground soldiers to call in. It'd be great if they did.
I don't know that we're ever going to be able to, and I don't know where the sources are on the articles they are. I can't believe that I don't trust anybody who says that no weapons are going to the black market. If they'd said, obviously there is a percentage that we lose in these kind of transactions, but it's nowhere outside the normal of any other initiative, I'd feel a whole lot better about it than someone standing up at a podium saying, no, of course not. That couldn't possibly happen. That automatically throws a red flag to me.
Yeah, that seems logical for sure.
You know, after you were in here last week, Scott, I actually went back and watched on Hulu. Was it War Dogs? I had not seen that movie. That's a great movie, and it's crazy to think things like that happen. But I mean, it was based in part on true events.
I've got a really good friend who's in the know on such things. I told you last week, just for a moment, I had a great Pentagon tour one time. I sent my buddy a text and I said, Pentagon says no weapons being sent to the Ukraine are ending up in the black market. And his text back was, want to bet? So,
oh my gosh.
I mean, there's a black market for everything almost. I mean, organs, there's a black market for organs.
Yeah. You know, which is another report that has come out. We got this late on yesterday, but this is some sad reporting. But it is, I mean, I say it's true. It's being reported by different outlets. How about that? It says you should read about the human trafficking with Ukrainian refugee women and children that's going on, plus the black market organ. That microphone's on, Tony, if you want to keep banging on that. It says, plus the black market organ harvesting of dead soldiers.
Wow.
That's awful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a weird world we live in.
Raise your hand if you're surprised by either one of those statements, though.
Yes. The organ harvesting of dead soldiers. I'm so naive. Well, I mean, not now that I've heard it, I would believe it, but I'm saying, like, my mind would have never even gone there, that would have been a thing.
Same thing. I would have never thought of that, but I'm not surprised. But I guess I'm kind of shocked, but not surprised.
This comes in our advanced rehab text line, 731-800-8398. Says, you're talking about the same organization that says you can drink the water in Ohio and that the border is secure.
Yeah.
You know, Scott, you said you knew somebody who was actually displaced in Ohio, but
my buddy Jack Cobb, he's retired from Harley Davidson, lives there. And I remember when the thing first happened, because he's posting pictures of a train explosion about 300 yards from the house. And they
how quick did they get out?
Well, they got evacuated that night, but they're back. They've been back for a while. I'm gonna reach out to Jack and see if
do that. That would be really interesting.
Call in. I sent him a note the other day, just checking on him. He says, "Yeah, we're back in." He says it's really been blown out of proportion, but the silence from the railroad is kind of deafening.
I wonder if that's legal advice, like saying, "Hey, don't say anything, don't do anything."
Oh, I'm certain there's a lot to do with that.
Right. The pictures, and maybe he's right because he's there and we're not, right? And so I'm looking at pictures on a computer screen, but the stuff that I see, like when that cloud was, when they were burning the chemicals or that controlled burn, and it looked like a black nuclear cloud, like that seemed pretty scary.
But you would think if I'm certainly not minimizing anything, because I think it's horrible, and I'm always floored by things that were preventable, but. You would think that would be the most important thing going on in his world right now, and I promise you, he posts a whole lot more about how bad the Pirates are going to be this year than what's going on with the water.
But
Pirates, he's got a point though.
The Pirates are really always bad though.
Yeah. Well, they got O'Neal Cruz. I mean, they got some good young talent on the Pirates. I think the Pirates finish above the Reds.
Yeah, the Reds.
Well, the Reds sold everybody off.
Yeah, their whole team was auctioned off.
Guys, this comes in 731-800-8398. Our advanced rehab text number says, I do not consent to any competition games based on imaginary lines in the sand and mismanaged resources for profit. So do not cross my plans for world peace and the redemption of we, the people, in the land. Note to the living. Tony,
That's
I'm
exactly
sure
what I was going to say.
I'm sure that's for you, Tony.
That was deep.
That was deep. Well,
deep thoughts with Jack Handy.
If you don't consent, then we won't do it to you. Now that you've, let us know that you do not consent to that. This comes in and says you'd have to be really gullible to believe anything coming out of the Pentagon. I know Tom's a good guy, but the stuff coming out of the Pentagon on Ukraine doesn't make any sense. Well, and at least that's about Tom. Tom's job is to report. They say, hey, look, the sky is going to be, purple tomorrow. I mean, Pop's like, hey, Tom's got to say, hey, the reports from the Pentagon is the sky's going to be purple. That's what he's doing. That's his job, is to relay that information and then use his contacts that he has over in Europe. Tom, was it 2 weeks ago, I believe, he actually traveled with NATO. He's one of 5 reporters that was able to go over there, and he was when he called in 2 Tuesdays ago, when he called in, he was in Brussels. And then when he was in Estonia first on Tuesday. And when he called in on Thursday, he was in Brussels.
Is coming to Jackson, April.
Into Walker Talks here on 96.5 FM. Programming note.
Live version.
Hello. Hello. That was you, not me. That wasn't us. New website. We have relaunched the website. So if you were to go to newstalkwtn.com, it would redirect you to our new website, which is newstalk965.com. Really easy. newstalk965.com. So there you can watch live. You can go back and watch our shows. You can read the stories, the articles that we put out. You can find information about all the Madison County schools that are covered athletically. I know Dan and they were out late last night. They were in Chester County as South Gibson's girls took on the undefeated Southside Lady Hawks, and Dan said about halfway through the first half, the roof started leaking. I mean, and that's bad when the court gets wet. So
at Southside or at
Chester County. This is
Chester,
the regional.
okay,
yeah.
Gotcha.
So they had to move. Luckily, Freed Hardeman was nice enough to let them move to their gym, but everybody had to load up. They had to go because, it was coming in pretty good, evidently, through the roof, and you can't play a game that way, obviously. So they moved over to Freed Hardeman and finished that up. Southside ended up winning, I think it was 71-38. And what's so crazy is South Gibson may have the second best team in the state. It's just very unfortunate for them that Southside looks to be the very best team in the state. So they advance on.
It's a well-coached team. The McNeil is an excellent basketball coach.
Oh, yeah, Brent McNeil, and I think they've moved up to 30-0 or 31-0 now.
There's something in the water south of the Fork of Deer River when it comes to girls playing basketball, too.
Isn't it crazy?
And if you're undefeated in basketball, that's special. So that's a tribute to his players as well. He must have a really good group of girls this year.
Yeah.
My wife is from Southside, went to Southside High School, and my mother-in-law is part of that West Tennessee Madisons, the senior ladies.
Yes,
they're like so Vikings, man. They just roll out of town and kill everything in their wake and bring home all the metal. They're wild.
I love watching those little videos in the commercials. And who also? It's Charlotte Palvon, Jody Parrish. Who are some other people on there?
Hope Webb is my mother-in-law.
Hope Webb. Who else is on there?
Jada's on the team.
Yeah.
Yep. Jada Slayton, of course,
man,
is
I'll
on there.
Get you the full roster.
I understand. I'm gonna put you on the spot here, but I've seen some of their videos and stuff that they do. They're fun to watch.
You know, I work with most of those ladies, and they'll come in with like a black eye one day, and I'm like, "What happened?"
I swear.
Oh, we just had practice.
I swear.
That's awesome. 731-265-6496. We're expecting to hear from Tom Scuteri at any moment. He has gotten out of his meeting, and so he should be calling in our advanced rehab text line. We're coming right back to that, 731-800-8398. This says the Vietnam War was absolutely disgusting. Then it goes on to say the nuclear threat is what scares me about this proxy conflict. That's what we're all afraid of, that, right?
I think the big fear is especially, smaller, tactical weapons. That there's probably a better chance of the Russians using. I'd have a hard time with the thought that Putin is willing to use a more of a strategic nuclear weapon, because the only thing he's in love with is himself, and I don't see him doing going in that direction. No.
To take
somebody who's more informed can argue me out of that point, obviously, but I'd have a harder time believing that.
I've read reports and watched the videos. I mean, this is how you consume news now a lot of times, and we completely understand, that, the video power. You can get on News Talk 96.5 and watch us. We get that. I have read about Iran being, I think yesterday it was like potentially 12 days away from having nuclear capabilities. Mm-hmm. But we had that agreement with them that we had signed and they had signed where they weren't going to do. They weren't trust them. Well, after we signed the agreement and after they signed the agreement, we started putting, according to what I have read, again, this is dangerous because, all you got to do is write something down and then people can read it. But according to what I read, after the treaty was signed, we started putting more sanctions on there. Saying, well, no, we need to do this too. We need to have this as well, to the point to where Iran just essentially said, okay, never mind. We're going to keep working on this nuclear fissiles or whatever the technical term is to use this kind of technology. And if it was the case, that's a little alarming to me because I'm like, man, let's sign the agreement. Let's not have them do it. Let's have inspections and things like that, like we always have, so we don't have another nuclear power. But it appears, according to reports, that they're, yesterday 12 days away, maybe today 11 from having nuclear capabilities. Good morning, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. You're on with Tony Niehoff and then Scott Bumpus, who is known as the most interesting man in Madison County.
All right. Well, there you go.
Your lucky day, Tom.
I'm flattered. It's an honor to be in such company, guys. Thank you.
Well, Tom, let's get into it. We were talking a little bit. I mean,
about Iran there. Yeah, I was listening to talk about Iran.
What do you know about that?
Yeah, so, what's very interesting is, and I think, Chuck, you and I touched on this on Tuesday or maybe last Thursday, about Iran and Israel, which is a critical element in all this. Mm-hmm. The deal that was put together with Britain and other nations, China, Russia, and the United States, Germany, and France, I believe, are the nations, to limit Iran's production in exchange for economic lifting of sanctions and other, concessions both ways. It was denounced by a lot of members of Congress and others and praised by some as at least a preventative slow step to try to resolve what's happening in Iran. And then, the Trump administration left that treaty and put more sanctions on Iran. And Iran has not shown indication and willingness to come back to it. The Biden administration tried to get them back, and Iran wanted the U.S. to lift the sanctions first, and the Biden administration said, no, we're not going to do that, until you promise. So talks are at an end. So this is where we are in the diplomatic arena for what that's worth, and I just say that for what it's worth,
Right.
So here's the real politics now, is there's no deal with Iran. It's not likely to happen. So what are you doing? And the number you cited, 11% or whatever, that number's going to change a little bit, but let's not focus so much on the number. Let's focus on what's happening, is that Iran is continuing slowly but surely to move toward a position where they will have the capability to have nuclear weapons at some point. Now, you see how I'm hedging my language, because these things are very mercurial. And there's the whole Israeli factor going on here, that Israel does not want to have, does not want to permit Iran to have the ability to have a nuclear weapon, for a good reason, because they feel that they would be the first target of such a weapon. Or, and this is also what's sometimes overlooked, but I think, I think, and others think, but I think that is critical, that Iran itself may not use that nuclear capability, but give it to some terrorist group to use it. You see, because then, Iran, how do you hit a terrorist group after it brings a nuclear weapon someplace and lets it go? It's hard, whereas if the United States or Russia or Iran or any country with a nuclear weapon uses it, you can retaliate against that country.
Right.
So there's a lot of dangerous stuff here, and no one should pretend like it isn't. Now, the economic sanctions that the West had put on Iran, that's still on it, and then the additional sanctions put on by the United States under President Trump, kept by the Biden administration, have really, really, really harmed the Iranian economy. Its currency is called the rial. I think it's spelled R-I-A-L. And I read earlier this week that it has fallen to the lowest value against the dollar in. Part of the reason why it stepped up its trade with Russia is because it can get the oil, they can get inexpensive items from Russia because Russia is desperate to sell, and it gives them some economic flow, as well as with China. Remember we talked last week how the president of Iran went to China with a delegation to boost the economy. So I didn't mean to get off track, but it's a very serious matter, and every time we get these reports from independent organizations, the International Atomic Energy Group that did this last number, it's that gap, whatever the number is getting close.
Yeah, it is scary to think about. And you know what? I never even thought about, was it Hezbollah or whatever that, people always feel like is being funded by the Iranian government there in Israel. But yeah, it's such a great point, because they don't even have to use it. They can just make it and have it, and then have a terrorist organization use it that's somewhere else. And then what do you do? Who do you go after?
What do you do? Right. What do you do? Because you could say, well, like you just said, well, they're supporting Hezbollah, and they gave them they're responsible. Well, how do you say that? You can say it, but how do you prove it beyond the point where you want to take action?
Right. Well, and we've also proven, just with what happened in 9/11, was it the number 19 of the 21 hijackers were from Saudi Arabia, and we went to Afghanistan and Iraq. We didn't go to Saudi Arabia. Now, I'm not saying that Saudi Arabia, the government, had anything to do with it. I'm just saying that, crooks your eyebrow up.
Yeah.
Well, Tom, what is going on? I found this to be interesting. In Finland, a country we don't talk about tons and tons, they're building a 124-mile fence along its border with Russia. Are Russians running into Finland?
Listeners, that's a very long fence, but it is not the entire border of Finland. They have an 832-mile border between Russia and Finland, land border. Okay, that's according to the Finnish border guard on their website, on its website. Excuse me. So the fence that they're talking about at now is going to be about a seventh of that. About 124 miles of fence they're going to do in these critical areas around border crossings and what they call the riskier areas. This is a wide open border. It's kind of like, Chuck, some Americans will maybe be able to relate to it, our border between the United States and Canada. In some places, just like a little marker, you've now crossed into Canada, and at least before 9/11, there was easy to do. It's the same with the Finnish-Russian border, wooden posts or fences basically to stop cattle from crossing, not people. But because of the war, you've had a couple things. One is that a lot of young Russian males are fleeing Russia, crossing into Finland, because they don't want to be drafted into the service to fight in Ukraine. So Finland has seen an influx of I don't know if you want to call them refugees or not, but they're leaving Russia for the reason I said.
It says 17,000 on my phone right here. Just this past
17,000.
That's what it says.
There you go. Yeah. And that's a significant number, remember. And so also, Finland is trying to get into NATO, and, that's a whole other issue, but that would mean there currently were Russian troops near the border of Finland, just when they're based. A lot of them have been pulled out to go fight Ukraine. But Finland's also thinking down the road that if it gets into NATO, it wants to improve its border with Russia and make it more secure in a lot of ways, not just stop the influx of people crossing over who want to flee being drafted. So that's supposed to be, the first stretch, about 2 miles, is going to be done supposedly in June. The rest of this 124 miles is done in 2026. But, I think this is an interesting story. I'm glad you brought it up, because it underscores to Americans how concerned Finland is, a neighbor of Russia, about what's happening now with Russia and the future that it faces and it sees happening in that part of Northern Europe vis-a-vis Russia. We're far away from Russia, and we're a whole ocean and continents away from Russia. These are countries that border Russia. As you know, I called you from Estonia 2 weeks ago, and they're one that they border Ukraine and Russia. They're worried about what's going to happen, and so I always like to watch these activities of these nations in particular, who are literally on the front line.
Yeah, absolutely. I was telling before you joined us today, I was telling Tony and Scott about our conversation that we had, I think when you were in Estonia, just about what their perception is of Americans now, and our, with some people, not with everybody, but with some Americans, a lot more so now than in the beginning of the war, saying, gosh, should we be doing all this? Should we be giving all this? And how they felt over there. And you said that they were very worried about it, and they wanted to make sure that, they got the information out there that, yes, this is a just war and a just defense, and we feel like that Russia would come here next.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, they were really adamant about it. You're absolutely right. That was a great opportunity for me to hear that kind of firsthand concerns and, insight, and able to share it with you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Tom. Well, let's move over to India. Okay. India here with the G20 has convened. And obviously, they're going to talk a lot about what's going on in Ukraine with Russia invading and some of the tensions there. But this is the big economic meeting.
Yeah, this is very interesting to me. We've talked about India before, but I'll remind listeners, India is trying very hard to be neutral and trying to position itself as perhaps a key negotiator to end the war. That's all good. The United States is benign with India on its fact that it still trades with Russia despite sanctions. India does not participate in sanctions. They usually abstain from voting on in the UN on any Russia should leave Ukraine type of resolutions like there was last week. They want to keep their position as an independent broker. And you can again debate whether that's fair or not. They have trade with the United States and Russia. Well, they're hosting this is their year to be the host of the G20, which is, you said, the world's biggest economy. And so they're coming to New Delhi today and tomorrow, and it's going to be interesting because you talk about putting on your diplomatic, being at 100%. You're going to have there China, Russia, and the United States, among other countries, Britain, France, Germany, Japan. You're going to have all those folks there. Now, I saw a piece this morning that Secretary Blinken, our Secretary of State of the United States, he's there already, and he had a brief conversation with his Russian counterpart, Lavrov, at this G2. They had a little sideline chat. I haven't seen any reports on what was said, what wasn't said, but, the visual of it was interesting that, here's these two foreign ministers speaking, and we generally, come down on the side that it's always better to speak than not to speak. It wasn't like pushing or shoving in the visual.
Right.
Looked like a normal kind of diplomatic conversation. So the key is that India really desperately does not want the G20 to issue any statement condemning Russia, talking about the war. They want to focus on the economy. Problem is, even if you don't talk about the war has had a massive impact on the world economy. Everything from food supplies being shortened for Middle East and African nations because Russia and Ukraine are among the largest grain producers in the world, to, impact on agricultural products coming from South America. They export to that part of, the Central Europe. So the war has had a major impact, oil prices, of course, and other things. So it's going to be difficult for the Indians to avoid having any discussions on the war, but we'll see how they turn out. Now, it's going to conclude tomorrow and then I think Saturday, so we'll know a lot by Tuesday next time I'm on your show. But it'll be quote unquote fun to watch.
Tom, with India abstaining from these votes, is that more of them really just wanting to say, hey, look, let us be the calmer heads here and let us help work through it, or is there a thought process out there that this is them staying neutral